F.
F?
F. The next one.
Yep.
I'm really curious what your names are going to be.
It's weird there's no title screen on this one.
Actually, yeah. I seem to remember there was one, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's just if there's no save game?
Maybe.
No, I think it goes straight into a load screen no matter what.
Huh. Crazy. I mean, in fairness, I don't remember the title screens for most of the Final Fantasy games being particularly demonstrative outside of, like, the title card sequence.
Did one even have a title screen, or did it save that entirely for the, like, late roll?
I think it was the late roll. It had a load screen, I think, but that had, like, settings.
Yeah, it had to
like text
continue a
speed.
new game and
Yeah.
change the message speed, but otherwise that was pretty much it.
Mhm.
Also, hello, Roxy.
Hello.
I see these names are going places.
Just 4 youths.
Uh-huh. Just 4 brothers.
As we'll see, there was a lot of experimentation happening here.
I mean, that was...
Oh, this music.
Yes.
4 interchangeable blank slate characters to the point where the dialogue doesn't bother to say which one is saying what, even when they
Correct.
do have dialogue.
One of them is saying this.
One of onion, 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 and onion.
Onion not appearing in this film.
Gerblins.
Yep. Hey, look at this interface, though.
Look at this interface.
Yeah.
Look at the defend command exists.
Yes. Although it will not always exist.
And as of now, things aimed at invalid targets will change target.
Yes. Unless it's magic.
Unless it's magic.
The 4 good boys of light.
Yes.
Red, blue, green, and other red.
The perfect tiny tots.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, they already leveled?
They learn so fast, these kids.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2 of them rolled low.
Oh, hey, there must have been some developments since last I saw this game, because I don't remember the HP being in green. But maybe that's just me.
I just went out and find what seemed to be a most recent and complete patch.
Yep.
But yes, I personally adore the Onion Knight and the Onion Knight's gimmick.
Mm-hmm. Of being the most Ibis level up curve anyone's ever seen. Of trash garbage until the very end of the curve.
Rows exist, but now work the way they will in the future of just exchange attack for defense by standing in the back.
Yep. Also accuracy, I think?
Maybe.
There's a lot of weird exploitable things with the way this game handles defense.
Mm-hmm.
That got more intuitive later on.
Yeah. Although
There's
if I
4
do
kids
remember
with
correctly...
their 4 knives.
Mm-hmm. While shields are not quite the perpetual acceleration initiative that they were in 2, they are at the very least appropriately powerful for their, like, opportunity cost.
They can be, yeah.
Their raw numbers are large, which is important, which we'll get to it in a second.
As an aside, Loon, how much are you talking about general mechanics, everything that you might know?
As much as you like, I have played through the entirety of the remake and probably about
Okay.
half of the NES game.
So,
I'm-
as based off of what Vinay said, and this is my personal, absolutely favorite thing about the Onion Knight, the Onion Knight has garbage stats, like, across the board. If you compare it to any other class, it is completely fucking awful. Until, I think, level 95?
95.
Yeah. At which point, it starts gaining an obscene amount of stats per level.
Yeah.
Hold
like
on a second. Vinay, I'm getting some reverb from you.
Oh, hang on. Let me.
As will happen.
They
Switches in dungeons.
Yeah.
They even,
Interactable
completely max out their magic stats, which is just pointless. But there you go.
They do it.
And as I will bring this up as an analogy for whenever Loon is playing these old games, because it is fun to see, for me, how that game analogized. What's the fucking term?
Analogized.
Analogized. Thank you. These mechanics into how it works. The Onion Knight in Final Fantasy Record Keeper is also garbage when you first get him. He is just completely awful. He has the worst skill spread. Like he can only use like the mid tier of all abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you do shenanigans that you actually get special items that unlock abilities for only on him. And then you can get him like, okay, he can use all of the abilities in these schools now. And also he does keep the thing of his stats are fucking terrible. He gains like 1 or 2 in all the stats every time he levels until like 83. And then from 83 to 99, he gains 20 in every stat.
Yep. If I remember correctly, Onion Knights could use, or whatever the hell they were called in the DS remake, they could use, like, some magic of all types, but, like, level 1 only. Please change classes as soon as you get the opportunity.
Also, you want to talk about every year at Fiesta season, modern fans get to experience the culture shock of seeing a wild carbuncle for the first time. The raw bunkle.
Yep.
Bunkle with teeth. Now we've gone further back to the next level. That's carbuncle right there.
Yes. That's what you call an egg carbuncle. That's a carbuncle egg.
For somebody asking a question in chat, the 1, 2, 3, 4 cycling on an enemy is to indicate who's targeting what.
That's a reminder of what actions you have queued up.
It's actually a really, really polite quality of life change. It's a good thing.
South wind.
Look,
Is
that south
magic
wind is
items?
going to be important in about...
Yes.
Checks watch, 2 minutes.
About the stairs over there.
Mm-hmm. Just
That's
in
carbuncle
general.
with its giant eye and its kind of mineralish outer shell. With
Mhm.
strange pustules. Classic bunkle.
Title might say tabletop because Loon missed changing it.
Mhm.
Because Twitch has been bad about updating titles of
Whoops.
anything.
Also, yeah, Final Fantasy 1 through 3, less in 3, but like still some, very tabletop inspired. You know what I absolutely did not remember? Is that animated water tile?
It's good stuff.
It's a good
It's
look.
good stuff. Which is only more remarkable given that I don't think it existed in 2 or 1.
Yeah, this is the kind of shenanigans that were fairly solved problems by the end of the NES.
Mhm. What year
Vinay,
did
check
this
your
come out?
PMs.
Oh, sorry. That's unfortunate.
Okay, you want to talk about a bop though?
Sorry, a bop? Like a bird of
This-
paradise?
No,
Oh.
this song it bops.
Oh,
This
I see,
item
sorry.
menu.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Powerful.
It's a bit too powerful if you want to mess with it.
Look, let's not go there, shall we?
You will not need the deepest of sorcery.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Roxy, is there a reason why the HP values just keep changing, or is that just random chance?
It's like slightly random, but
Yeah,
also
there's a
based
little
on
jitter.
the vitality when you level up. The like universal formulas
Well-
in this game all apply a slight random numbers at the end of them.
Mhm.
Use your
31.
combat items.
Mhm. Please use your combat items or
And-
all your potions.
And there went Turtle.
Mhm. Crystal can talk?
Rocks are speaking. How can this be?
Fairness, I think I'd be pretty surprised if a rock talked to me, too.
So I have completely forgotten everything that happened in 3DS. How long did it take to get your first job in that?
Longer than this.
Slightly, but not
Yeah,
very.
no shit.
It took you much longer to gather your actual party, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, 3 doesn't start you immediately in the ditch in the remake, because they
No.
actually assigned a character to each slot.
Yes.
And so they have bare bones introductions for each of the 4. Fan translation not for sale.
Well, it's fair.
1990, to
Yeah.
answer your question.
Do not
Renee.
use Nesticle to play this game.
For those who thought they might try, don't do it.
It was
Yep.
very popular for a long time, and I don't
Good
really
old
understand
alma mater.
why.
Hey, I used Nesticle to play this game back when I was playing on the previous patch.
If you have just arrived from a time portal from 1997, do not use Nesticle to play this game.
Correct.
That time
Oh,
has
hey.
passed.
Hey, Vinay, it's our alma mater.
Yep.
If you have arrived from a time portal from 1997, do not use Nesticle. Please. Please.
Just don't do it.
Use anything else.
Also, don't hang out in the CS Club. It smells.
Look, Mr. Math Major.
Yeah. What's up?
Nothing really. I'm just casting random aspersions.
Yeah, you who went to class.
Hush you.
Light Warriors,
Oh.
back at it again.
Okay.
The most
Welcome to
important-
the invention of job systems. We can
Yes.
now customize our initial batch of 5. Fighter, Monk, Red, White, Black. The classic team
Conspicuously
minus
absent.
Thief.
Yup.
Wherefore the
Thief.
crime?
I'm sorry, what's a thief?
You know, nasty crime boy.
Manually remove all of your equipment before changing jobs, please.
You know, I seem to remember there being a command that did it all at once, but maybe I'm forgetting.
And the
Ah,
limitation on the original setup here, we have capacity points, which are a currency you
Yes.
spend to change jobs. The more unlike your current job, by some vague metric, your destination is, the more capacity it will cost. Consider
Other
that
than-
red
White
and
mage
white
is
mage
more-
are basically the same as fighter. Black mage, though, no, that's different.
no, that's nerd shit.
I now want to see job space and the distance metric put on job space.
Sensical matrix, if I remember correctly. Like, it mostly sorts them by sort of generic type, and in some cases shared commonalities.
We need to get the
Okay,
job
there's a
matrix.
remove button here for everything.
See?
Can we get the
I-
job Venn diagram?
Dear God, newbie, why?
The Jabahedron.
Do you want the job ordination where we like sort jobs onto 2 arbitrary axes? New
Alright,
monk
that's a
spread, I
monk.
see.
That is a
It's a-
monk. That is the FF3 monk sprite. It's very handsome.
Alright.
Nice shoulder pads.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to follow a vague general metric of 2 frontliners and 2 supports.
Mm-hmm.
Not a terrible idea.
Right there is the FF3 boxer.
Yes. Legendary boxing skill.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's
I'm
a
sorry,
couple
you're-
pixels of difference in these ones between their classic versions.
I think the white mage is a little more different, but yeah.
You have
may
the
need-
black mage above the white mage. 0 out of 10.
I also now have none weapons that I could put onto.
So the difference
HC
there in the
for
white
now.
mage sprite, looking it up real quick, she's looking more at the camera.
Just in a side glance.
Yeah, the original white mage sprite was only one eye looking forward.
Yeah. It was full profile, whatever.
Black Mage was
Although
probably the same thing.
You know, for some reason I remember
Wait,
the
hold
Black Mage
on.
having 2 eyes even in...
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Dual wielding.
this is what I was getting at. The reason
Black
shields-
Mage sprite is virtually unchanged.
Yep.
4 warriors and 4 knives.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fighter sprite is a bit more detailed.
It is. And
Yeah,
the
it's
map
got like the
sprite is-
highlights on the shoulder
Yeah,
pads.
Yeah, that's it. But no, that Black Mage sprite was just
Pretty much the same.
it was the last day before it shipped out, and they forgot to fucking make a Black Mage sprite, so they just imported it.
They realized the original Black Mage sprite was a winner, and you don't mess with success.
He's already perfect.
So
Why
does
would
the
you
monk
change it?
wear any kind of gear at all in this game, or is it always just bare?
Nunchucks
Some-
still exist? I don't know how
Nunchucks
they...
exist? Okay. This is important information. Nunchucks, if I remember correctly, still set your attack to a fixed value based on the martial arts weapon. Which means there comes a certain point where you just throw your nunchucks over your shoulder and start punching things.
Correct.
Supposing you keep using Monk for the entire course of the game.
Goku no longer needs Nyoibo. His
Correct.
friend is now his fists.
Well,
Awful.
thanks.
Yeah, so, you can use items on things in the environment.
The FF2 system is evolving.
Hey, Luna, I do have a question for you.
Yeah,
How did you get into that cave?
it's a good question.
I think the intro mentioned that the 4 kids were going in there to prove their courage or something.
They were
and then a
out
hole
playing
opened
and
up under
then
them.
fell in a hole.
Yeah.
Tiny earthquake.
There was some, like,
Ma'am.
hand-waving Ma'am,
Ma'am,
please.
please.
Ma'am.
These 4 orphans fell down a well.
That's correct.
Ma'am.
Ma'am.
Can,
You know
can we
what?
We
walk
have
in
to
the
stop
inn
this.
and then
Maybe,
walk back out?
yeah, maybe if I just use the inn to, there we go.
Yeah.
She started all the way over there?
Yep. Why are there... You know what? We won't question this. Thank
That's
you, ma'am.
discreet brownie in motion for you.
True, and yet...
Ooh, that sound.
That's NES sound effects.
Yep.
Sure are.
Because this is
Also-
a Final Fantasy stream, and it was a thought that I had the other day.
Hmm?
An interesting thing that I noticed that FF5 does that, like, pretty much none of...
Series debut
I'm
of
sorry.
dancers at pubs.
Please go ahead.
What is this song?
It's just the dancer song.
Series debut
there
of
something?
pianos.
Correct.
Time to flex.
Time to flex.
But
Good
anyway,
God, this really is Proto 5.
speaking of 5, a thought that I had, compared to a lot of other Final Fantasy games, so every character in 5, if you are saying from the moment that you turn on the game to whenever, every character in 5 has some sort of secret that they or the universe is either keeping from you, the player, of backstory wise.
Mhm.
But the difference is 5 doesn't waste any time just revealing every one of those secrets as fast as possible.
Pretty much. I
Like,
think
by the
Gallif
time
is
you're-
the only one that's slow-rolled in any way.
That's about, like, yes. The
Yeah, it takes
go-
a while to say Gallif is from space.
Mhm.
Yes. Hi? Well, pardon me. Don't let us interrupt. I'm not sure that's our strength, but good call there, Chief. I'm sorry, you were saying.
Bart's doesn't really like finding out that Bart's is the last one. You find out that Bart's father Dorgan was from space
Mm-hmm.
in World 2. But that's it. Like from World 2 on, there's no other secrets about the characters that are ever revealed.
Pretty much. Hmm. Also, magic is a thing that other people in this world can do, just in case you didn't know.
Good work, kid.
Oh dear. Ah,
This seems like a
This
nice place.
game.
Why are we leaving again? We should just stay here.
Adventure! Also, The Rock said we should leave.
You don't argue with talking rocks.
Speaking of this being a nice, safe place, you should probably save before you go north.
You should
Yes.
probably save before you go north.
That's not a good sign.
Look, the game is much friendlier than Final Fantasy 1 or 2, but it's still an NES RPG with everything that entails.
That's
Final Fantasy-
damning praise.
Final Fantasy 1 was friendlier than Final Fantasy 2.
Ish.
Cho herb.
No, I feel like this
Ooh.
game is famously unfriendly, honestly.
It's just weird. I don't remember it being particularly brutal, even when I was a dumb teenager.
It has to get there. The game is a
Yeah.
little unfriendly, but that's just by sort of NES standards of like, remember 2 had doors. 2 had problems. as
There were
well.
yeah.
no mystery doors in that first dungeon. You sell antidote here at your magic shop.
Correct.
Are you
Interesting.
sure
Hey, does
there were
town-
no mystery doors in that first dungeon?
Does Town 1 sell any black magic spells?
No.
We will visit
Well.
the Elder, then go and save, and then adventures in the backwoods.
Black
Correct.
Mage has a perfectly good knife. A perfectly good knife.
The fucking lady's title takes up
Look.
half the text box.
Look.
One of the Elders, Homac.
Text box title card technology was a lot more primitive.
The
back
man
then.
who
Oh my
raised
god.
the orphans to Papa
Game,
the Elder.
I'm trying to
Dad.
defend you. Game, please.
Just freeze frame, boss subtitles.
Where's the lost fifth child? Eon.
Don't worry. I got this.
Eonian.
Onion.
Inai.
I got there first.
Enion? Yeah.
Inane.
Onion.
And the question is, do you spell that with a Y or with I's?
Yeah, it's Old English. It's all the same.
Spelled with a Y was their mother. The I is the father of the orphans.
Good. Great.
And
Carry
so they
on.
did.
Well,
You better go do
Time
the
to-
thing. Okay. You got it.
time to engage the Shadowbringers back.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
What was that game?
Revivification.
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 Yeah, revivification. Yeah, I got you.
Revivify. At the Revival Spring.
Which one's this one?
This should just be, healing.
The other one is revive. This one's just heal him. It's fine.
There's
Saving
that theme.
still only on the overworld.
A pity you didn't have enough to get a longsword or something, but you'll be fine.
Well,
I also didn't sell any excess stuff left over from dungeon, which isn't much. I'm using all of my knives for now.
you can sell Echo Herb. It's not like you're going to be casting any spells.
Fair point.
Unless.
Monster's my foot.
It's fine. Nature has never harmed a child.
Since nature spawned Garula, of course.
Treasure. Oh shit.
Okay, actually all of our starting gear is here in the backwoods shed. Good. An actual sword.
Handy that the literal healing spell is back here.
Interesting.
Wait, why is the heal spell in your inventory?
Oh,
Oh,
because
you know why.
because individual characters have their own spell inventories still. I have to take this item and crack it over someone's head.
Oh,
Onion. Now you know.
So you got what? Leather armors and a cure spell and a dagger. And a
Also,
long
we are
sword.
back to spell charges by tier, but the charges are way more abundant than they were in 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
As a
yeah.
result,
Starting
prepare for
with
dungeons
10
to be longer.
level 1 mana.
White mages are serious business. Also, hello.
What else did I have that? Right, dagger.
Knife!
Over.
I think you
know
put the dagger.
Dagger is on.
Dagger.
Yeah, dagger is on.
You did pick
Onion.
up leather armor.
On who?
Leather armor is on
God.
onion. There is not a second. There is a second leather armor. All right, yeah. Onion.
You could go more defense heavy on your main boy and have dagger on black mage.
Loon, I want you to know your naming choices have pre-cursed this run.
I love it.
Yeah, his magic system is more fine than it was in 1, mainly because you have more spell charges.
Beginning of just having more stuff laying around on incidental objects in the environment.
Let's do it. Also, yeah, like, I made the joke previously that Final Fantasy 1 absolutely had an MP system.
I don't
Ho,
know.
ho, ho, ho.
Oh, hi!
Hello.
Wait a minute.
Get ready!
Hello.
We don't go into the back 40.
As an aside, if you survive this battle find, you could probably sell some of your excess stuff now and get poison
Yes.
heal.
Pure. Oh boy.
Yeah, that very
They
useful
made
pure
pure a
spell.
level 1 spell.
Level 1, it only costs, like, an antidote to learn pure.
It's weird. It doesn't cost 4,000 to take up a 4th level spell slot.
It's fine.
Level spell in Final
Sorry, what?
Pure was 4th level in Final Fantasy 1?
Yes.
Yep.
What?
How did you get here without a problem last time?
It is
Wolves
a
are smart.
mystery. Maybe ambush wolves.
The easiest question is, Loon is really good at video games. Come on.
That is a good question.
Answer
Mega
it,
Man.
Rabbit.
Very strong spell animation.
Yeah, it's incredible how much more attractive this game is than its 2 predecessors.
They learned a lot of polish.
I mean, compare Dragon Quest 4 to Dragon Quest 1.
It also just has really crunchy sound design.
But like in a good way.
Yeah.
Very snappy. Very impactful.
Also, like Vinay, on that factor, compare Mega Man 1 to Mega Man 6.
Wow, yeah.
And I'll give you.
Compare Mega Man 1 to Mega Man 3.
Yeah. Compare the Yellow Devil to Gamma.
I'll give you that. And also, in this case, it's not necessarily the sprites being more elaborate. They definitely different in style. I think it may have changed their sprite artist, but more importantly,
Did they, as I stare at the Black Mage?
shh, they reused some stuff, okay? I meant for monsters mostly, but like a lot of it has to do with more attractive UI and different like interface design choices more than like strict visual upgrades.
Oh, the one all command. All right.
Yeah.
We can sell
Yes.
Quality of
all
life.
it. Shields, get out.
You might get a discount for buying in multiples too.
I think you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It begins. Again, this is Proto 5.
Oh, copper bracelets. Oh, only 2 people can use it. That's a bummer.
I'll take them for those purposes. Yeah, I've hats for everyone. I'm ignoring shields. The mages could wear leather armor, but I don't think it's necessary.
But pure.
Pure.
Yes. Meanwhile,
If I
our
knew
black magic
2
boy is a very
spells.
sad man.
I don't remember exactly how it works, but being in the back row is like way more than doubles your defense against physical stuff. It makes it really hard to kill you.
Yeah, it seemed like our back row folks were evading better.
That's
Yeah,
what I was curious
it
about.
increases your evasion as well, or decreases the hit of enemies.
I think it might do something to allow you to dodge more attacks, which is normally limited by your defense multipliers. But now we're getting into dark math, and that can wait.
Soon. In case anybody in the chat is wondering why there's both a crystal spring and an inn in this town, I think the crystal spring is mostly there to teach you about it. They don't generally exist.
Other
in every
towns
town.
won't necessarily have crystal springs.
Yeah, they will have inns, of course, but at least in the inn is kind enough not to charge you.
So, is there anything left in the cave up to the north?
How did
That's
you
a
go
good
in
question,
through the
Mega Man.
entrance?
We should look.
Where
at
is
that.
the
Oh,
entrance?
It's right
north.
above. Yeah.
We just walked out of it before we came to town. Here we are.
Uh-oh.
Alright
Uh-oh.
then.
Please be advised, there is one hidden room. Have fun.
Gertlands.
There's a bit more of a load-in than I expected in this.
Yeah, this will be entirely worth doing as like a warm-up to get the team established. Big money.
Yeah, okay. What?
Fabulous prizes.
There are fake walls all over the place here, but at least the nice thing is that they tend to be at the end of passageways or in corners. So it's not just like,
Signpost
Well.
it, sort of.
yeah.
There is certainly a reward for you, like, wandering all about prodding things, but it's an RPG. You're kind of expected to do that anyway. at
God,
this
these
point.
goblins are just so much better.
They're so good!
So, do you keep your HP if you shift to a different class?
You do.
Yeah, sort of, I think.
HP gain is based on
Right,
when
right.
you level. So if you level on a low vitality class, that's you just lost HP, and you
That's
gotta
fine.
deal with it.
You either rotate who the wizard is, or you keep a designated
You accept
wizard.
that your wizard will be frail and not worry
Which
about
is-
it.
Oh boy.
It's fine because the back row is so generous in the way it calculates stuff.
Mhm.
Also, just looking at the spread here, there's not that much of an absolute difference between our monk and our magicians.
It would be a shame if there was some
Skulls.
boss at some point in the game at maybe a pivotal point that really didn't care about what row you were on.
That could
What?
never exist.
Why, that would be absurd. As absurd as him constantly raking your party with high damage thunder spells. We'll talk about that when we get there, folks.
So
Right,
you
that
have
was
to
the
de-equip
boss I
a
was
weapon
thinking
in
of.
order to put another item in. You can't just replace it with a different one.
Bring nunchucks. More swords. Yeah, if I had a pair of chucks, that'll have an advantage over fists for now.
Sure, well, you know what? That bears testing, I think. Hey, sleep!
Hello. Magic. Alright. So also, yeah, 3 spells per level per character.
Hey, what does swap an item do?
You are allowed to take the spells back off of the characters.
No.
Could you move sleep to the second row?
No, that's
no.
a second tier
It is a
spell.
first level spell.
Why
Okay.
would you do that?
I didn't know if you
Also
could
note
move
that we
it up
already
and
have a
down
level
rows.
2 mana.
No, it's like Final Fantasy 1 in that spells have a designated tier.
That leads to where the game started.
Yes, that's correct.
Our wonderful idiot children saw this pit of
Kids.
skulls and just thought, let's get in there.
I mean, maybe the hole wasn't there to begin with, and they were just like, we're
Race
all
you to the middle
dared
of the skull pile.
Yes. Walk to the center of the pit of 1,000 skulls. And the kids are like, yeah, that seems like a fair plan.
Interesting. That thing in the back hit the monk twice for only 1 damage.
Peculiar.
Yes. Arcane maths, begin.
I can talk about as much or as little about arcane math as people would like.
I mean, we're here to be quasi-informative, I think. Given that Loon went code diving for the previous game, I think you're free to do that.
In that case, this game functions off of multipliers and like low base damages that get applied a bunch of times. And the way defense multipliers work is the amount of multipliers you have is how many times you're allowed to reduce the attack of what's attacking you. So if you have 2 defense multipliers and get attacked twice, you're allowed to reduce both to potentially 0, which gets rounded to 1.
So, yeah, like evade stacks in 2, except instead of an absolute pass-fail, it's a number of times you can apply your armor.
Yeah, it's somewhat intuitive because it like the progression is obvious.
Hey,
but
skill rating. Because that's a
stuff
kind of
you-
weird non-system that's in here.
Yeah.
You can only have damage reduction so many times per round.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Are the attack and defense multipliers very similar to the ones in Final Fantasy IV?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
They tend to go up every time something is a multiple of 16.
It
Unless
was 8, but, well, same difference, I guess, but...
unless you don't have a shield equipped, and then your defense only goes up every 32 levels and 32 agility.
There's a reason shields are important. But if you don't shield, you get to sword twice as hard. So there's that trade-off.
And sorting twice as hard works in this game.
Yes.
It does.
Sorting twice as hard is powerful mojo.
Where it extremely did not in the previous game.
Correct. Except
So-
to level your weapon twice as fast.
Skill levels. My vague awareness of it is that the individual characters can develop an affinity for a class that they've been wearing for a while. What does that do?
That is correct.
That just-
stuff.
Lowers the cost of going back into that job.
Oh,
You
is it?
basically don't have
Great.
to care about it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just
no.
always easy to revert to your main after dabbling.
Mhm. Which, fair.
If
But,
some
like,
unforeseen future event demanded that all 4 people put on the same hat,
What?
which would, of course, be unthinkable.
what?
What?
Well, you could avoid it with dark math.
Is there any penalty, say, for using your capacity for switching classes?
You just have less later.
Potentially
Oh.
none.
Yeah, all it's used for is switching classes, and if you run out when you really gotta, then it takes a while to get back.
But, like, most people don't switch classes that often. They don't change classes like people change their clothes. Which is a weird thing to say now that I think about it, but never mind.
Thankfully, they did learn from that for later, for 5 and 10-2, and yeah.
It's a bit half-baked here. But it'll be fully
Frankly, I
baked
feel like
later.
10-2 could have had a little bit more cost on switching your job. Like, just make it
Why-
take your turn.
What? No, literally change hats in the middle of battle. It's great.
Oh, no, I don't care about that. I just care that you can do it a jillion times a turn. As in, you can stop time and then switch 7 jobs.
But there is a mechanic behind doing that.
There is, but because there's a reward for passing through those, like, nodes or whatever, those edges on the graph, I figured that there should have been some cost to changing your job.
But
In terms of
also there were the mega jobs that required you to touch every node on your board, and if it had taken a turn, with most boards having 4 or 5 jobs on them generally, it would make the super jobs completely worthless.
Like, small-ass boards?
Maybe. I
Do
guess.
I have everything
'Cause,
here
I mean,
in
like-
Crystal Pit?
that would be an argument for the small ass boards. Is you consume fewer turns to access Mega Job.
Yes. Oh, excuse me.
It is weird to be back to XP and levels. Those two.
Having pulled up a
'Cause-
very weird map of this dungeon, it looks like you have everything, though.
Because the thing about 2 and other progression systems like it is that it means that every action you take has payoff. That just creates a very different feel to when you are working on your characters.
Yeah, it's a very continuous return on investment, rather than the discrete exp at the end of fight. And the even more discrete leveling.
I'm surprised at how much health the white mage is getting per level. Granted, the levels are so tiny right now, it's hard to see a little bit of a disparity, but I was expecting it to be a couple points lower.
The White Mage had better vitality in 1 as well.
That's true.
It's also partially based on your level, and the higher level you get, the more your vitality starts to impact it. So right now the differences won't be too huge.
Yeah.
You can see the divergence is quite minor at this point. Although even now, like, the monk is starting to diverge higher than the fighter, and then both the fighter types are diverging higher than the casters, etc.
And now the magic shop has elemental spells, right?
Haha, you jest.
May as well dual wield staves.
Time for science. What if 2 stick? What if 2 stick, but a piece of metal in the middle?
Yeah,
Oh,
okay,
it does
that's some
work.
attack power.
Always be Flightlin.
Mm-hmm.
Just stopping a moment to appreciate how much more handsome all the overworld sprites are as well.
Those mountains look very nice.
The art direction on the NES trilogy, a lot of advancement was made across the 3 titles.
Yeah. If you're
I'd
so
say the-
inclined, you can futz with party order to see what the different map sprites for these classes look like.
I'd also say they're getting a lot more out of the sound chip. Like, it definitely sounds fuller, if that makes
Is
sense.
it possible... I can't remember if this was on a disc or not, but is it possible that this was one of the games that came with, like, added hardware on board? Assuming it was a cartridge game.
That could tap into bonus sound channels.
Mm-hmm. Because Castlevania 3 did that in the Japanese version, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it did.
Okay.
But I'm not totally sure.
But, like, that was always one of the most fascinating parts about cartridge gaming for me, is that the format allowed you to just expand the hardware of your console, within limitations, but still.
Oh, you don't
Oh my
actually have to
God.
rearrange the party in order to, just hit select and you will toggle your overworld sprite.
Neat.
Imagine if they sold games with PCIe cards today.
FF3 Famicom.
Oh boy.
System.
Ooh. Hey!
Ah, screaming. Tiny
Nope,
cutscenes
nope.
for these regular interactions.
Yep, it's very cute. Town's haunted. and this man has a very short memory.
Ah!
I blame terror due to
Help.
ghosts. Have you examined the fire? I can't remember if there's a stupid message for it. There's a,
It's
no,
fire.
No, it's fire.
I know what
have
that
good
is.
news. There's hidden false walls in this town also.
Welcome to
Complimentary revivification here in town.
Secrets for all your zombie needs.
From as far as I can figure out, looking it up, it does not appear that 3 was a Famicom Disk System game.
Okay, so it was a cartridge game then.
Yes.
I love how the ghosts are two-dimensional in side view.
Hidden walls in the town? Okay, well.
Yes. Oh my god, all this music
Our
is
first
rushing
plot
back to me.
point. Genies.
Genies have rendered this town ghost.
As you do.
One immobile ghost.
Oh, hey, Sid.
Here's our Sid. He's a ghost.
Time to Sid. 15 minutes.
Time to airship. 15 minutes.
Correct.
What?
You get the airship very early in this game.
Is there something, Crumb? Is there a problem?
Man, I need to, not expect anything from this game that is ordinary
Three's
in the
weird.
other ones.
This game is
It's
strange.
so weird. I love it.
I think you can sleep in any bed that you can get to, by the way. Though I think
Probably.
I think you're fine.
Yeah, we aren't really wounded.
I do appreciate that this game has werewolves just right outside of the first town.
Inside the first
You mean
town.
right? Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say inside the first town.
Yeah, they're dealing with a serious lycanthropy problem. There
Yep.
has to be a hidden room in here somewhere.
Yeah, but first,
There we go.
Ow.
Candles. Fire hot.
stupid messages. Yep, there we go.
There is, but this isn't the false wall with anything in it.
Oh, well.
Just a closet.
Just a closet, you know.
fine.
Yeah, you just walked into somebody's closet and started rummaging around in there.
It's a
Where is your
storage
treasure?
locker.
We're RPG protagonists. That's what we do.
Must be in another room. Oh well.
This game went pretty wild with hidden walls and stuff to the point where
Pretty wild in a lot of ways. I want to say, it went places.
it's pretty important to always be looking for them because they just really help your resources.
Yeah. I seem to recall a long time ago remembering you talking about routing this fucking game for a speed run, which, oh boy.
Free stick.
That was fun. The RNG is totally consistent based on your step cycle,
Oh,
but I realized there was no point in doing it glitchless because of the dark inventory stuff you can do.
right.
Mithril Helm. Time to Mithril Helm.
Oh wow, Mithril. That means we can fight the Empire.
I can defeat the Empire with my
We can
Mithril
defeat
Helm.
Genie with Mithril Helm.
Just ram your
Well-
head into him. It's fine.
We need a Mithril ring, but specifically this town's
A
claim
helmet
to
can be
fame-
made of many rings.
Yes. Was that they made Mithril stuff. The secrets of working Mithril are known to this town.
Unfortunately, you don't do the thing where you get the airship that screams for half an hour in the speedrun anymore. Now it's a little
Oh.
faster.
Okay.
This game,
You
Well,
hate to
well,
see it when
Uh-huh.
the science leaves behind the good things in life.
Alright, did you save?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Just wanted to
Who's
check.
ready for, my opinion, the
Oh,
worst song on the whole
no.
fucking soundtrack?
You are correct.
Too short of a
Congratulations.
loop.
You've heard
Too
the
short of a
loop.
I think there is a second part to it, but it's not very... Oh,
Yes, it was
Yeah,
about to
it's-
start when anyway, here's
Yeah.
here's the skeleton.
Oh yeah, it's a good mummy sprite still.
mhm.
Yeah. Just that hunched over
double-sized
mummy.
Also, continuing the trend of extremely enthusiastic-looking skeletons.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
That-
the Yakuza mummy here.
Yeah,
That
the squat
skeleton-
mummy. Slowly evolving over the course of the franchise.
Oh
Yeah, okay.
boy! Goodness gracious me. Bunyan is our hero today. Also, if you want the true whatchamacallit 1999 experience, set all this music to play at roughly 70% speed and then speed up for about 2-second intervals, more or less at random.
No one wants to have that experience, I think.
Play an FF4.
Yeah, we can't actually
like
do
this.
anything in the mithril mine, right? It's a pit
No.
full of rocks.
There will be a hidden passage later.
For now, it's just
Not yet.
infested with ghosts. Well, no, the ghosts are out
As,
here
you know.
being peaceful. Skeletons, though.
Yeah. It's
God.
not.
God, the battle music in this game is just so good.
It is. As is the boss music. Also, this game has boss music.
Yeah, we saw. When we fought the turtle.
This whole entire region seems to have a big curse problem. Got werewolves and zombos. Who knows what else?
Mummies.
Maybe it's a good thing the valley has been sealed. No one will wander in here and suffer.
I guess we go get the airship?
Go get our free airship that we just get immediately.
30 minutes into the game? We've met a lot of the standard things of Final Fantasy in the first 30 minutes.
FF3 has quotas to fill.
Look, you've seen all this before.
This
We wanna get
airship-
out of the way.
Cannot cross mountains. We don't have airship,
Right.
we have Hiryu. It's fine. It's a joke.
I'm okay with it just because of the music.
It can't even
Can't
cross this boulder, as you would expect, since Sid said he was trapped here.
That's what kept him from leaving.
The avalanche
Is
is
this
too
like-
tall.
Is this like the skimmer in 4? Is it, yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
exactly what it
It's
is.
exactly that.
This is a fancy canoe. All this does is let us cross this lake.
Yep.
Oh boy, a castle.
And very
But
easily
first-
travel to this castle.
Sassoon Castle. I was out getting groceries.
Oh, so this is the inspiration for what's his face? Whoever the knight is in 3
Ingus.
remake. Ingus, thank you.
Yeah.
I hope you're not sick of hearing that there's hidden passages in here.
Hey,
Of
at least
course.
this song is a jam.
So now that we're there, I can talk about the character, the personified characters in the remake of 3. You have, and actually off the top of my head, the main character's name escapes me.
Luna?
Lunith, yes. You have Lunith and Ark, who are from the same village, who's just supposed to be the starting village. You have Rafa, who is supposed
Slacker.
is supposed to be from the
Kazakh.
she is from the second village. She is from Ghost Village.
Yeah, she's from Mithril Town.
And she is supposed to be like a blacksmith, more or less.
Yeah.
And then you have Ingus, who is a knight of this castle, who was just away when the curse happened.
Out getting groceries. Telling you.
Interesting. Interesting non-interactive water.
Correct. It's just a decorative water feature.
You have
You know,
a lot
in case
of
of
money.
sieges.
I have
Like
some
a
money.
lot of money.
Nothing to spend
Someday
money
we'll find a
on.
place to spend it.
Well, just wait, because you're gonna release Second Town, and then
Hey!
Oh, thank the Lord. Is ice still a level 2 spell in this?
No.
No.
Okay.
This is a very important area to find, or else.
God, this
Your black mage
entire
ain't doing
game is
nothing.
flooding straight back into my forebrain.
Oh, what, do you think there was something hidden in the fireplace? Come on.
Behind the
I'm giving you-
fireplace, though. In the void.
open that box, open that box, open that box.
Opening the box. For
Not
some
a monster.
Tonfers.
It was not a
Converse.
trap. Have a Tonfa. Become as S2
Confer.
protagonist.
Yeah, okay.
I have attained power.
Correct.
Highly expected Shiva in a box.
Become as Aphramid.
This is also the start of a very important theme where you can't even trust the hidden areas not to have hidden areas.
Yes. There are,
This game
this
just
castle has
took-
2 layers.
Took secrets and ran with it. What if all secrets?
It looks like some of the secret areas you can kind of tell based on that little indent in the wall.
Yes, yeah, there are some places that are like.
That's right. It's time for Crumb to look at the walls again.
Hell yeah.
No,
Oh God.
Let's appreciate
I do.
architecture together.
Mm-hmm.
I look at walls and I count numbers.
So look at the door. Where is
Where's
Jin?
Jin? Said someone.
Where is Wizard Hut? My useless daughter is missing.
And guess what? This game also has the Princess Sarah.
Yes, correct.
Ooh, hello.
Yes.
Only a
but
red
only
wizard.
a red wizard can use it.
And use the White Slayer.
Definitely say it before you go into that tower.
It will absolutely
yes.
fuck you up.
Where, alright, Red
I-
Mage is back, and they did more to characterize it, actually, versus the other mage types. That a bunch of magic swords are Red Mage only.
But is the red mage good?
Yes?
For a while. Remember that in this game you're not expected to keep a given job throughout the entire game. So
Yeah,
Red Mage
later
is good
jobs
for its
are
intended
supposed
use.
to obsolete the earlier jobs.
Red Mage is pretty good for the starting section, and then not really.
It's still a sword haver that can cast white magic.
Arrows.
What is?
Uh-oh.
Arrows.
If only you had some sort of ranged
If
A bow.
only.
Mysterious.
Who can use the bow right now?
Fighter could use bow?
Fighter can use bow.
Yes! A
Can
bow
White
is a
Mage?
martial
Wait.
weapon.
Can White Mage use bow?
Is this original
Family.
Rosa?
I think Paladin.
No.
Yes.
Wrong
No.
mage.
Oh no, there's an X. Okay.
Black
Can
Mage use
Black
bow?
Mage use bow?
Who gets a gun? Black Mage can use bow.
What if archery?
Wait, does it matter which hand you have the bow in?
As long as you have the arrows in the other hand, I think it's fine. You're not. This isn't FF4.
That's why. Look, most of my knowledge comes from 4, and where it actually matters.
Fair enough. Children. You know what? Fuck
Have
it.
they now invented combat equiping?
Yes.
Yeah, so I can change out the ammunition at
Yes,
any time.
you can swap into your holy arrows in case you encounter something that should
Some
need
sort of
purification.
especially tall skeleton.
Yes,
You can opt into any kind of equipment at any time.
assuming your class can wield it. Also, I like to imagine that these kids are actually just kids, and therefore this is just more complete stupidity than anything else.
More
it's just
youthful
like-
hijinks.
bow.
Maybe it's just a really fancy bed.
Well, there's that too.
It's a royal bed. It's
Mhm.
novel.
And it's very large.
More holy ammunition.
Also, there's encounters in here.
Hello.
Bear eyes. Man, these are some gross-ass sprites now that I look at them more closely.
Dripping.
Look at the fucking Radam over here. What the hell are these things?
Friends.
Also, they mean business.
The werewolves were hitting for about this much.
It's true. These guys can soak more than a hit, though.
Hey, you know what? That's a cool effect. I'll give him that one.
Also, elemental weaknesses are real.
I'm
Oh,
really
no.
excited to see the bow in action.
Yep. Maybe not this fight, though? Who knows? Extremely not
We
this
may never know
fight.
what bows do.
Yep.
What's a gun?
Who can say? Well, previous experience has taught me that this is. Oh no, wait.
They seem nice.
Is this the time for holy?
Is this the time for holy arrows?
Perhaps.
You do also
Yes.
have potions, and they
Do
are
have
uncommon.
potions.
Just lob medication at them.
Yeah,
Ugh.
okay. So,
Spells
I'm
will
looking
not
at these
retarget.
guys.
Should have gone wide with that. Good work, Onion.
Neat animation though.
is this zombie cut in half? Is that what's going on
No,
right
It's
I
now?
think
rising
coming
out of
the
the
ground.
floor.
Yeah, you can see
Oh,
the earth
okay.
below it. It's rising from its grave.
It's fresh.
Yes.
I thought it was just like the stomach up, and that was it.
There we go.
Crunch.
That's numbers.
Neat little.
Okay, that's the second time they did exact healing. Does it not show how much it does? It just
I have
raise
no.
you to
It
max?
could just be exactsies.
They might round off the overkill.
Or it could have just been random chance.
3 swings, huh?
Yeah, claw, bite.
On a fucking zombie crunch.
Yeah, and?
I think you know,
And
Alright, better heal.
Come on,
And
Vinay.
that's why.
It's just a zombie dragon pretending to be a zombie.
Birds.
Zombie dragons can shapeshift just like regular dragons.
Bird
Bird.
found.
Story
Beware.
checks out.
Bird is
Sleep.
here. Sleep?
SAS effects are pretty good in this game, but usually only because you can spread them, and
Who
it won't
knows?
diminish their effectiveness.
Neat.
All spreading does is reduce the final damage, and
Right.
if a spell does any damage, a SAS effect does any damage it applies.
Dealing 20 damage to somebody in the back row bodes ill for your front row.
They'll be fine.
They might be fine.
They might be.
It's fine.
We'll find out.
Is this one of the games where you can spread your cure spells to target
Yes,
the whole party?
I
Okay.
believe so.
Yes.
Yes.
And it is now that you press to the right off the edge of
Mm-hmm.
the screen, rather than pushing down past the bottom of the crew.
They also let you target enemies by that type of enemy with one of the buttons, which is just really nice.
Interesting. Got there.
Okay.
Yes. Enion, how do you feel about taking up red magic?
Anyone could do it.
It's true, but one of them. I guess either of the wizards could, really.
Well, we're about to go into a cave filled with a bunch of zombies.
Yeah, you want somebody to do it, but
Probably actually
And I
tag out the fighter. We don't have any
Alright.
standout,
that's true.
distinct
we don't have any
fighter
really
equipment.
good equipment, so
We have the talent for. We have spells. Well, Mithril Helm.
yeah,
might.
maybe he might not be able to wear it. Who knows? We'll
Let's
find out.
see.
Time for Sonic.
It's a 1-point difference in strength. Or
Defense?
defense, excuse me.
Wait.
Oh, they can use the Mithril Helm.
Alright,
Yeah.
so. Where did that land?
Under
W
Holy
Slayer.
Arrows.
White Slayer.
Extremely real. Knife.
Can't use regular swords, so yeah, knife.
I think there's
W-
a dagger in there.
W Slayer, which stands for Wombi Slayer.
Yes. It slays you twice. It's the W Slayer.
And can use the copper bracelet.
Hey!
Yes. Is a caster.
The
Alright.
Red Mage sprite is much different from the first game.
7 and 2 mana to work with.
Yes. In case you come upon other spells.
Yes.
Oh gosh, Vampire Hunter D was a mono. Oh no. Oh no.
I am digging this Red Mage Overworld sprite.
Quite handsome.
The Red Mage sprite there is for battle is in the same way of the fighter. It is just the FF1 red mage, but with more detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, some extra highlights on the boots.
Yeah, actually, it's really just the boots that have the extra detail, and that's about it.
Also, the red mage in this one, in the overworld, it finally has white hair as opposed to black hair in Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 1.
Also, maybe it's just me, but the red mage walk cycle on the overworld just looks like they're strutting.
Oh, geez, you can't even buy a second heal spell
Nope.
because it's only pure in town.
Now,
Yes.
you can strip it off of somebody else if you
Oh,
that's
whatever.
your inclination.
Yeah, they can pass magic to each other.
Well, the game is actually pretty polite about that.
So, if your white mage ran out of first level spells for whatever
could s-
reason,
Yeah,
you
they
could
can
pass
cure
it
off
over.
of it.
They could hand off the orb.
That's
You can also
neat.
you can also swap the entire spell loadout for 2 characters if you're so inclined.
No.
Well, what I mean is the function is in.
No, I understand. It's just most of a no.
Fair. Alright, everybody back in the airship. But first,
So, how robust is the inventory? Are we talking like 60 spaces in there? Reasonable.
looks like 40-ish, maybe 20?
Yeah, it's workable.
I'd say about 32.
No
It's
auto
not-
sword yet. That won't be invented until 4.
Unfortunately. Although if you double-click the trash, what happens?
Nothing.
Okay. Just wanted to check. And hey, look, our inventory isn't full of useless garbage.
Item stacking is back.
Mm-hmm.
So we really can bring 99 mega elixirs to the final dungeon.
If they
You
have
know, if you
invented the
can-
Mega Elixir.
If you can scrounge that many, sure.
Mummies live here.
Oh, there is one very important thing to mention, which is, there's lots of interesting things you can buy in shops in this game. And one important thing you extremely can't buy in any shop in the game, which is to say, Phoenix Down.
There are a finite amount of those, and
Yes.
one other item.
What the hell do you think people would be doing selling the down of a legendary bird in a store? That's a treasure. Thus, revivification. Yeah, that's exactly it. The game offers you lots of free ways to revive, just so that you're not screwed if you run out of Phoenix Down, which you can absolutely can. Looks like the White Slayer is a saber, judging by the sprite.
Cutlass.
Cutlass, maybe.
Honestly, I'd prefer if it cut more.
Yeah. Welcome, folks. This
Cut
is about
most?
No, I was about to say cut us more. That's the wrong spell. Never mind. Hold on.
Could it be a cut all?
Cut moss.
Cut nil.
Cut Mojo.
Cut nil sounds like the worst weapon. Well, newbie, I think chat has made their opinions known.
If Newbie didn't do it, I was.
That's fair.
Y'all are getting at the mad at the man that named a colony for Lessa.
It's still bad, and I hate you for it.
I kind of like it, actually.
Did I burn that one to the ground?
No, I think a random event burned that one to the ground.
Right.
It was like every colony in Asia went down 1 point.
We could just use some potions in case we wanted to heal.
But those cost money. What do you think? We're made of money?
Have we actually bought any potions?
No, and it would probably be a good idea considering you're in a cave of things universally killed by potions.
Look,
Possible.
That's what we have a white mage for.
Maybe I could
Oh, hey.
convert any of the resources the game has given me into other relevant forms for the adventure.
Look, the game is willing to let you have your head in this matter. Do as your heart. Oh, goodness.
Upgraded skeletons.
Yes, big skeleton. Even if the previous skeletons didn't sound like Skeletor, these skeletons absolutely sound like Skeletor.
So, being in the back row gives a massive defense boost. Does it also reduce your accuracy?
It looks like,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, whatever. That's what we
Yeah,
have
it's
eye
not-
drops for.
Well, and it's not like Enion was particularly contributing that much to physical attacks. Some, and we do have eye drops, but, you know.
Yeah, that persists. Alright, I
Yep.
will go turn our thousands of gil into some pharmaceuticals. Or thousands of G.
Buy some potions of paracetamol before we leave town. Ugh.
All those bits you have.
Was bits the name of the currency in Suikoden 1?
Yes.
Okay.
I am fairly certain I called them bolts at least several times.
What is this, Mega Man 8?
Pretty much.
Fair. Also, it's worth noting that there is an argument to not immediately liquidate every piece of gear you're not immediately using, just because you may want to be in that class again someday.
Look, Vinay, what am I going to do with all this Zenny I have here?
As long as we're back in this town, I think there's someone in front of the Revivify building that teaches you a very important mechanic.
That's true, actually, there is. But first, a nap. And we can already see Red Mage's spell charges diverging from full casters.
Oh, I've already interacted with
Okay,
Potion
yes,
Discusser.
This does not come up hugely often, but there are times where the rewards are substantial.
Yeah, that's a few pharmaceuticals. I'm digging
Huh?
it.
Look, that way we can save all the cure spells for the undead.
We can just huck potions at the undead.
Well, there's that too. And we could save the cure spells for us. One or the other, basically.
How much does a potion heal?
50?
I don't know.
Let's test.
We are about to find out. On
At least
undead.
40.
It might be a variable in combat.
Meanwhile, chat is just flooding with the names of JRPG currencies. I like Maka, though. That's a good one. Big fan. Oh my god, Goth. What? Ogre Battle. It was
Yeah.
Ogre Battle.
Yep.
Wow, y'all are dicks. I guess the game is trying to teach you something here, so that's fair, but still. First thing in the first random Oh!
Potions.
Oh!
Excellent.
Oh!
Very cheap way of killing the undead.
Items are very good this game.
Oh! Cures poison.
So the venom spell they cast, was that just a...
Small
Precursor to
damage
bio?
and poison. I guess, yeah. Baby Scourge.
Red Wizard.
I guess.
Well, I mean,
In case you didn't find the other cure, in case you didn't follow the giant blinking sign that said "Go get cure," here's more cure.
Or if you have multiple white mages for some reason.
It's a pretty good idea in this dungeon, honestly. You don't
Yeah.
need to, though.
or you could just be one of those weirdos who goes, I fucking love white mages.
Ocean, what are you doing down there?
You know, just hanging out.
Inventory, what?
How does
There's-
inventory, anyway?
There's really weird stuff happening in the inventory storage. Something about the way it, like, stores it in the actual system memory and what pointers do in it.
We're edging on the deep science.
If you know how, you can basically use the inventory to write code into the game. But
Yes, well,
you
we're
want
not
to
going
know-
to do that.
You
A
wanna
level
know
beyond
exactly
the
what you're
inventory
doing.
corruption that happens in 5.
Yeah, this game's inventory is extremely vulnerable to shenanigans.
Look, memory addresses and pointers are hard.
Apparently, especially when you have famous wizard Nasir Gabelli programming your game.
Do you want to program an assembly, Vinay?
Look, okay, fine. No, Nasir can do it. It's just, you know, sometimes things happen. Really, frankly, I think let Nasir do it is probably the most accurate representation of throw the wizard at the problem that I can imagine. The problem gets solved, but sometimes there are consequences.
Such as Ultima. It's just a gun.
One-shot gun.
Oh, Ultima.
There is no such thing as a bug. The computer always does exactly what it is told.
Yep. Boy, these mummies sure have it out for Onion.
Is there any targeting in this game based on where you are? Like the top slot always gets targeted more than the rest?
I think there might be, but this time it works instead of having the weird random number generation bug fuck with the targeting.
No, not like in front row, back row. I mean, does the person in spot 1
Yes,
actually
that's
get...
what And I think the answer is yes. Also, oh hi. Fuck that noise.
Team, she made it halfway through Skeleton Hell.
Yeah,
Alone.
Like, just bring her with us. Sarah has
Joined the party in that, so the concept of guest characters is back, except it's not extra party members. You have a guest tagging along over there.
Oh, hey,
chatting
Sarah.
with you. Look
With
at
the
this
hell of a
extremely
sprite
Slayer.
over there.
Yeah, Sarah on loan from Slayers, it seems.
And you can just converse with them.
Hmm?
Sarah, also known as Precursor Rosa in terms of design.
As an aside, there's some actual relevant information she's giving you.
Yes.
Spirit of Fire, weak against ice. In the remakes, depending on which guest it is, they have some pre-programmed things they can do to help you out in combat.
She's having
Sarah.
fun following you.
Yeah, you know.
Hmm.
Start chucking pharmaceuticals, folks.
That, fun-looking person in the back seems nice.
Zombie 2.
Zombie harder.
Should have gone wide with that spell. This is a crowd. It should be controlled. I am betting on one
Shit.
swing of White Slayer defeating a Bones, and that is not yet the case.
These are upgraded bones.
Bones too.
Fortunately, pharmaceuticals will never
Potion
fail
just
us.
works.
Well,
They're still
3 of them
learning,
are almost
folks.
dead. It's fine.
Yeah. We can wide target a cure and it should be fine. Also, load the gun with holy bullets.
The nice thing about wide targeting is that it just divides damage by the number of targets when you cast it.
It's
So you
no
don't-
longer the hideous, prohibitive damage penalty that it was in 2.
Yeah. You don't have to worry too much about not getting your value out of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just...
and the numbers come up all at once.
Yes,
Oh,
it's
thank
so
you,
good!
game.
It's so good!
Yeah, just that little flourish debuting here does so much to speed up presentation of combat. It's great.
I thought I was going to lose my mind in 2 during some of those combats.
Dispel. Resist down. Resist down. Resist down. Resist down. Resist down. Next character. Resist down. Resist down.
This game has a lot of strange idiosyncrasies, but one thing it definitely does right is maintain flow.
Yes, this is definitely the missing link between 2 and 4 of just, oh, that's where all those quality of life came
Yeah,
from.
what if we fix the quality of life things?
This was just amazing to find during late 90s, early 2000s emulator binge.
Yeah.
Of just, this is where it all began, huh? This invented the moves.
I mean, Johnny Long Torso, this is not like a super brutal first dungeon, but in fairness, I'm judging by like Wizardry 4 standards, so it's probably rougher than like a lot of other games, but 2's first dungeon was not super easy, and depending on what you consider Final Fantasy 1's first dungeon, it was either
Marsh Cave.
cake or it tried to smash your organs in with a hammer.
This can also be pretty brutal if you never found the secret stashes.
That's true, yeah. Because then you'd come in with like a cure spell and basically nothing else.
4,000 less gold.
4,000 less gold, which means no giant stack of pharmaceuticals.
No Tonfa.
You are rewarded
shot.
heavily for exploring.
As it turns out, you should adventure in this game about adventuring.
Okay, poison's somewhat real in this.
Yes.
It's a relevant
Also-
fraction of your health.
The icon that they've used just makes it look like the afflicted character is extremely drunk.
In some ways, yes.
That's fair. Purgative, Styptic, stitch up the wound.
Okay.
Hey, friend. It is going to take a while to get used to this, the fact that you do need to push a button to initiate the fight.
Oh, that's what's happening? I thought it was the game loading up.
No, it waits. It shows you the fight and will just sit there until you're ready to go.
Gives you an opportunity to prepare, stare at the wall of pain that is coming. Interesting. So they have about 50 health, so like AoE cure spell last time finished a bunch of them off. Did that magic just miss?
Yes.
Yes.
Magic can miss?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me phrase that. Attack magic can miss is what I should have been specifying.
Fiend. Hmm. This is fine, right? Oh, look
Jin.
at Karnov over here.
Yes, Karnov.
I like that the sprite hitbox is really huge in anticipation of the boss being big, and it's just...
But he's so tiny.
But it's just Karnov. Fire in one hand, scimitar in the other.
Speaking of... Okay, that wasn't much damage.
The hit thing is large for when he does balloon.
Of course. You know, if you had not thought to use the Arctic Winds on the turtle, you would still
You
have them
can
here for the
absolutely.
boss where they
Yeah.
say use ice on Hot
Yes.
Man.
You could extremely delete Jin with an Arctic Wind.
I wonder if there was a hidden wall or something in here that had an Arctic Wind.
It's quite
Maybe.
possible.
I don't believe there is.
No, never mind then.
Though,
There's another path I need to look at on the way out.
There's an upcoming-ish boss that usable magic items are very, very, very helpful on.
There's a discussion going on in chat. Literally, the only problem with 4DS is that it obfuscates
Doesn't tell you
information.
things. Yeah.
That's it.
If it had told you the thing, that game would have been just fine.
Yeah, as somebody who played through it, mostly blind on the remake, but knowledge of what goes on in the series, I got through that game with almost no problem, just with a guide of who to use what on.
Mhm.
A build guide, if you would, and that's about it.
I didn't even have that, which means I don't have Del Cast, sorry.
Edge still died a lot, but that's Edge. He dies a lot.
Edge is built wrong as a joke.
I am getting to the point where the game is going to start kicking my teeth in, so I'm
Did you get to Rubicante?
In the Tower of Babel, yes.
Yeah, Rubicante is the first sign that Edge is built wrong as a joke, because Rubicante does his titular move and Edge will always die.
We'll always die. For what it's worth, when Rubicante did his titular move, my entire party died except for Cecil.
Yep,
That's accurate.
that'll happen.
Anyway,
Oh, we are all the way back here. Okay.
Yeah, we dealt with Jin. We put
that
him in the
other
ring,
path I
threw
wanted
the
to go
ring
look at.
Straight into the spring.
Later.
I'm sorry, the throwing the ring in the fountain animation was fantastic.
You did it!
You did it! It is the third game in the series, and we're already kind of doing callbacks. If let's just have, like, what would be the entire plot of another RPG in Microcosm here. That's just your opening area. Damn right! The ultimate reward. Canoe.
But we
Camping
have an
equipment.
airship. Why do we need a
But
canoe?
what I need a canoe for?
What if Sid took his ship back, though?
Sid would never.
What would I
do
need a
such thing.
canoe that doesn't have to live in my regular item inventory for?
We just have the canoe. Trust
Canoe
the
is
canoe.
just a flag that says you have the canoe.
But how would we know we have the canoe?
Ba, 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 ba.
I live here now.
I guess that means that other towns' shops and everything are open now.
Yes.
Yes.
Time to spend all your money.
Yes.
Yeah, we got 2K back from Dungeon.
Sarah, the guest party member where nothing bad happens to them.
A very
She seems
alive
fine.
guest party member who was not
Keep
destroyed.
Keep it in mind that that happened.
I don't see a problem here. We got a guest party member, and they lived through the entire, every day.
Okay, yeah, just that. That's your remaining plot beat. Adventure?
Adventure.
Now, would now be a time to switch back to being a fighter? That way you don't take HP hits.
Yeah, I think we can put away the White Slayer for a while.
Then we lose our extra cures.
Whatever.
I am gonna just warn you, I wouldn't spend job points right now. Doesn't matter too much, and you're gonna need them.
Red Mage it is.
For the thing, yes.
The thing.
The thing.
Oh yeah, you're
Cannot put hat on body.
you're probably coming up on a crystal soon.
Mm-hmm. They tend to come pretty thick and furious at the beginning of the game.
Saving job points for the bad design decisions.
Look, you.
Where
I've
are-
seen crystal sickness. Don't fucking talk to
We
me
have the
about
canoes that you can go back and retrieve the airship, because now you're stranded
Oh
on the
my
wrong side
lord,
of the
you're
lake.
Right. How did we get back in
Yes.
the first place?
We used
We
the canoe,
teleported.
dumbass.
No, the king gave us the canoe.
We teleported.
She didn't have it.
The ring just can recall you back to the palace.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a homeward ring.
I guess we can explore that side
Please.
passage too.
Yeah.
Please, Vinay, it's a ringward bone.
Sorry, my bad. I guess we must have found it in the cave then.
Unless you want me to look up what was down there? I don't know.
You know, we could always use the extra scratch, I think. We're about to go into a town full of mithril crumb.
I think it might actually have been another Arctic one, now that I think about it.
Ooh. Yes, please.
But what about an item that casts annoy on your enemies? The Arctic Wind.
Man, you are feeling it tonight.
I am. It's weird.
You are. What would that do? Would it reduce their magic defense?
No, it casts annoy.
Good. Is that like bother?
That's
Is that
trouble.
Is that like worried? But backwards.
It casts unfriendly.
God damn it, newbie.
What about the Bactric Wind that casts Bio?
Okay, can we all appreciate the monk's injured looking sprite? Because that's pretty awesome.
Yep, and the monk's incredible hair.
Oh, my blood.
Look,
I'm
fact
not
that-
supposed to see that much blood.
The fact that, like, after coming from 2, where they, you know, run off the screen to the left because, yes, we're done the fight, let's continue, to this where, like, all right, let's do our celebration. Oh, no.
My bones.
just vomited up all my organs here.
We did it.
Yeah, well, of course, going back to an earlier topic, the age-old, you know, information thing to note that rings to nothing unless warned.
Where's that even from?
Nobody tell him.
Look,
God damn it, newbie.
Vasu the Jeweler is a very smart man, and those snakes are beautiful.
He gave you quite the hint, and the fact that you still don't have it is amazing.
Did you just say the
Misclick
run command?
there, but
Yeah,
let's see what
okay.
happens if I try to run.
I'm sorry, this music has blanked out my memory past, like, the age of 15.
And see,
I
that's
remember
weird
this-
because I think I played that particular game when I was 15.
Well, it's quite possible, but I didn't necessarily. Although it's tantalizingly familiar, which is deeply unfortunate.
Yep. I'm not saying it.
No, of course you're not. Oh no! We're in wizardry!
Hello, friends.
Oh, these things suck, by the way.
Creeping coins!
Oh, if you're a fighter class, you get the defend command. If you're a magic class, you have the magic command, but you don't have both.
Yes, and so it begins. Are any of these
Fuck.
ghosts?
Let's find out.
Are we fighting a mimic right now? Is that what the coins are?
They're creeping coins, Crumb. What could be the problem? So specifically, there was an enemy on floor 1 of Wizardry 1 called Creeping Coins, which, if I remember correctly, did literally nothing except summon more creeping coins. And I think they are here as a reference to that enemy.
One southwind.
Southwind.
Hey,
Hmm.
we take those.
I can check
Sure
those
do.
bones for the secret double passage.
There's no secret double passage.
Should rattle those bones, though.
Yeah, secret double passages are later.
If there was a secret double passage, I would have possibly needed to mute myself from laughing too hard.
Secret double passage isn't real and can't hurt you.
That's what you think.
Oh, good. We're back to saying strike first after you put in your first commands. Thanks, game.
Back?
Yeah, it was
Back
the same
to
in
the
2.
past.
Didn't never changed.
We've been here the whole time.
That is the
Crumb.
normal right now, in the year 1990, on the family computer.
But the
There is
first
no-
game told you ahead of time.
There is no first strike in Bossing Say, Crumb. Well, bones are safe. Time to go.
Bones are inert.
Huh. The iOS version is easier than the... Oh, quick save. Got it. To be honest, for the folks in the chat, the DS version is really quite playable. It's a good time. You know, getting 80% of your party Inferno down notwithstanding.
Also, it takes all of the things this game did to speed everything up and make it go faster and slowed them right back down.
Which, FF4DS?
The FF3DS.
Oh, yeah. 3DS is... Don't. In part, that's kind of a weird thing that happened because, like, you'll notice there's lots of enemies in these battles, and because FF3DS, used, like, models, it generally fit fewer enemies per battle. So in order to compress the enemies down, it gave each enemy individually higher stats. Unfortunately, this kind of made them damage spongy.
It also just like turns take longer. Everyone animates slower. They have to step forward to do their thing, and it takes a bit.
Now we can't seem to get rid of these things.
Meanwhile, it appears that Chad is taking vocal exception to my tastes in remakes.
How does it feel to be wrong with it?
FF3 DS is louder, angrier, and has access to a time machine.
Correct. But, yeah.
That sure is an AoE cure spell.
Yeah, you know. Slight patch-up. We're still learning, Crumb.
Crumb, you've played 4. That's extremely an AoE healing spell.
Yeah, if Rydia does it.
That is Cure 1 casted on the party, aka does fuck all.
Correct.
Actually, now I'm thinking about it, in the original version of it, I think Rose's Cure 1 would have done about that much.
You're going to find these switches to reopen secret
Oh,
doors behind
boy.
them at all times because they cannot preserve the state of this room.
Imagine that the Light Warriors are just famously obsessive compulsive and feel the undeniable need to shut every passage they open behind them.
Sensible.
They're very polite.
They're good
Nice
kids.
Yeah, they were raised properly.
I mean, the most scandalous thing they've done so far is sleep in the princess's bed.
Admittedly, that's pretty weird, but they are kids, so we give them a pass.
This
You
is
don't
the
want-
sound of an airship taking off and landing.
Oh.
Alright, let's get us to Kazus.
It sounds like a sped up version of walking into town in FF1.
Is that an airship taking off or my stomach?
Look
Please tell
at
me this is
this
Sid.
man!
Please
This
tell
is
me
Sid.
this is Sid.
This
That's
is Sid.
Yes.
We go from the original Sid, who is Han Solo, to this strange dwarf man.
Yup. FF4 Sid comes from a pedigree and then some.
Sid has joined your party, which means nothing bad will happen to him.
Sid has a
He's
family.
married?
If we had Mithril.
We could, yeah, okay.
Okay, please.
Okay,
Please.
magic store containing fire and sleep.
What about Mathril, though?
Ah, yes. Made into the famous multiplicative male.
Extremely not going to give any to Onion. You don't deserve magic.
You have a sword.
If we could obtain Mathril, we could build Construct 8.
Mithril rod, mithril knife, mithril
God
sword.
damn it.
Before you buy a bunch of that, there were those mithril mines with the not secret that didn't exist.
Probably the same
Mithril
for
is
the
a
armor,
type
then.
of math rock. Get out, Yggdrasil.
Yep.
For fuck's
Best
sake,
shield,
that joke.
helmet, glove, ring.
That bring good things to these streams.
Ah.
You have been knocking it out of the park so far.
Item store
Please.
with regular loadout.
Small child.
Try the wall, 3 steps from the left. Thank you, small child. Hello?
In cost.
Ma'am?
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 just
We're
go
too
up to the
young to
next
drink
floor?
anyway.
Oh wait, that pub, not in.
Just sleep in the bed. Just what you did before.
No one will prevent children from sleeping when they need to.
Eventually, you'll have to pay.
Mm-hmm. Have we
Right.
gone into the menu yet?
My HP is restored.
Ah, there we go.
There's Menu Sid.
Yes,
I am a
Menu
powerful
Sid.
wizard.
Hello.
That was what I wanted to call attention to. Menu Sid is incredible.
I make airships.
I make boats that fly on the clouds.
This
Wait.
dwarf.
Is Sid old man?
Yes.
No.
And so they did.
And so they did.
What?
And
Thanks,
so they
Taka.
did.
Ba, ba, ba.
Good at it.
This game really does not have any time to fuck around.
This is like
the
Final
Metro
Fantasy
line.
Legend and how quickly they solve plot points. Just up, we're done.
Yeah, it's the accelerated program.
Still can't buy any arrows.
Not yet. You may have to go back to knife at some point.
Oh, we still have plenty in storage.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe not holy arrows, but we've got wood arrows. You know, default.
We have wood at home.
You seem to be in a good mood today.
I was excited to watch this game.
So was I, believe me, but
Now,
Yeah,
what do you
you're-
think we're gonna find in a Mithril mine?
I can't decide if you're going for the really stupid joke or the really obvious one.
Surprise me.
Mithril ore?
Weirdly enough, iron.
Mithril ore what? Anyhow, moving on.
Still gotta complete that earlier thought of pull into the drive-thru at the lumber yard, order exactly one
My
2x4,
God.
and drive away.
Oh my god. Shards now.
All right.
Swords! Swords that
sorry,
Red
you're
Mage
not-
cannot use.
You
Those
can't
aren't
use that
wizard
right now.
swords.
How pricey is it to switch? No, we gotta save the capacity. Oh,
You might be able to
hello.
get away with it.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that, Roxy.
You might be able to get away with it.
Yeah, 8 is not actually that many.
It's less because they were already a fighter.
As long as you have a total of like 40 going into the bat thing, then I think you're fine. Oh, even less because some are already wizards. You're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, we're not gonna be there for a while yet.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Chill. We'll get there.
But the whole time I'm going like, the hell you talk? Yes.
Check out these shades.
The Shades debuted into...
The shades
I
debuted
think-
into with the weirdest animation.
Yeah, they're inheriting colors from the character's palette in this one. So there's
Oh,
going to be
no.
different kinds of shades. Like that's the hair color on the monk, the hair on the wristbands.
Wait, no, those are gray.
They're gray. Yeah. The monk's hair is like a
A brown.
brownish color. Yeah. They may be inheriting like the wristband, or maybe not the wristband color, but like some element of the palette, but it's not this yet. I do enjoy the like oscillating shine on the glasses though. I also look forward to personalized shades.
Hold on, I gotta take off my shades for combat. Oh. Where'd my shades go?
Fortunately, pharmaceuticals are not subject to blindness.
I forget, do we have fire now? Is fire a thing?
Yes.
I do have fire now. And I have a level 3 mana.
Wow.
No, for whenever
Also,
the
hey,
hell
yeah,
we get
thing that's going to pay off in the long term, they sort the spell list in descending order of rank.
I dig it. Can you purify the undead? No, that wouldn't do anything.
Well, they're not poisoned. Usually.
It inflicts poison on them. Unfortunately, they get healed by poison, so
Yeah.
it just be
Correct.
advanced.
Of all the things that could have happened, that might have been the worst.
That feels
The-
like a very 8-bit theater quote.
I would love for that to happen. Of just this is how spaghetti code the old FFs are. Just hard coded for any white magic to work in reverse. So
I genuinely believe it is the thing. It's just the reverse ailment ahead of its time.
God, Sid, you are just the best. Oh.
Also, this is the extent of Sid's plan.
Oh, when you say a bow, you mean like on the front of the ship.
bow.
Yeah, they
Of the
fitted
ship.
the bow
The
with the
bow of the ship. When I see that, I'm thinking like a mithril, like catapult or
Ballista?
ballista to shoot a bolt at the rock to break it.
No.
No,
That'd be
just
smart.
the mithril cannon.
the friendly handshake. What of mithril stick?
Guess we need armor first? I don't know.
Yeah. We might
Yeah,
as well change
armor
back
ups.
to warrior while we're here.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I got 55 capacity.
That's fair.
And fighter only costs 5 to flip
Gotta
into
take off your
at
pants
this
first.
moment.
Because I'm curious. In DS, do they fix that? That you can just immediately switch over a job without de-equipping?
I think it de-equips you as part of doing it.
Good.
And then
'Cause
makes everything
obviously-
else worse.
Yeah,
At
that's
least
the thing.
something got better.
Great.
That's under the heading of we take those.
We take those. Yeah, okay, fair. But still, like,
Alright, so
Crystal sickness.
yeah,
best.
that. Mithril gloves, I think,
Glove.
live in that slot for fighter types.
Couple of rings.
Mm-hmm.
Now
And we're
we can
broken
fight
again.
the Empire.
Yes, now we're invincible.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Well, we
can-
we can't fight the Empire, but we can withstand the Empire.
Yes. We can hand down the leather. Well, no, you aren't getting upgraded right
Not for a
now.
monk, you can't.
We can hand down... Well, I've already handed down that leather.
Did you buy mithril armor? You did. There we go.
Full mithril set.
Yeah.
Discussion going on in chat. I'll remind you all that many Sids have facial hair.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think it's rarer for them not to.
The only thing I can think of a Sid off the top of my head that doesn't have some sort of facial hair is 8
Kramer, yeah.
Kramer.
That's his surname.
Final Fantasy 14 1.0.
You're right. He is quite babyface. They fix it immediately, though.
7 Sid has stubble.
Yes.
Doesn't the Sid in 2 not have any facial hair?
How can you
Uh,
fucking tell?
Yeah, how do you tell?
When you only have an
You-
overworld sprite. Who
You look at the
knows?
Amano art.
Okay, hold up. No.
Gotta go
Can
look
we, can we
Yep.
get the combat data for that?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, hold. Final Fantasy 2 Mono Sid.
Also, I
This-
think he did have a portrait in Dawn of Souls.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did it!
Welcome to Final Fantasy III, folks.
You did it!
Check
Wait, we
your
drove that?
expectations.
Why were... What?
We did it!
Leave your expectations at the door.
Oh, no.
It gets
Adventure.
way
Also, look at these
goofier.
bees.
Also, Final Fantasy II Sid has a mustache.
Damn it.
Amazing.
But
Yeah, he
look at
does.
Final Fantasy II Sid.
You can't trick
Pretty
me. That's
handsome
Gallop.
mustache. Yeah, I know.
That's Gallop. I'm on it.
I was waiting for somebody to make that joke.
Oh my god, no, this is Gallop! What is this?
That's
Also, I
purple
was
Gallop.
distracted by Sid.
This is Gallop dressed as a member of Ginyu Force.
Those bugs you just fought were kind of adorable.
Yes.
What is this game? What is this game series?
So far we've had the villages of and Canaan.
Yes.
Where are we?
And Kazus.
Yeah.
Well, Mesopotamia, apparently.
You know how we were
Argus?
joking about the double secret?
Oh no.
What
Oh,
about
goodbye, Sid.
triple secret?
Is there a triple secret? Oh no. Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
A magic
that
potion.
does sound like something a wizard would do. Ma'am? She's practicing her soliloquies. We better leave her be.
Dash.
Dash!
Dash. That rogue.
I
Brigand.
see a pot. I see that pot, and now I need to know how we get there.
A dashing rogue, if you will.
Stop it.
Is,
Get some help.
is fire hot?
Excuse me. That one wasn't me.
Fire is hot. But is this fire hot? Yes.
Yes.
Now we know. Fire is fire.
Fire cook food.
Oh, wait, never mind. Hang on. Solve.
Fire-
Oh no.
I didn't even
Fu-
remember
Is there something,
that
Grum?
one.
Fire cook food so food no have maggots.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, what was that, Roxy?
I didn't even remember that one. There's so many.
You never run
I'm
out of...
more worried
Okay,
that
now
we're-
here we are. An inn where you need to pay, and this is enforced why the wall is closed.
Yep.
You pay the fee at the desk so they will open the barrier and let you sleep.
I mean, that's fair. That's how it works in normal inns. They just do it with a key these days.
What worried me about finding the soft is that there's soft this early.
No,
Yeah,
Meaning
never-
there will be petrify this
There
early.
is a village of Small, and the last copy of the mini tome was given to Desh, who went to the mountain.
Thanks,
to the
Dash.
south. What's in the shop?
Armor here is the
More
same.
mithril.
I mean, you did just exit the mithril town without doing anything.
Yes. Unlabeled house. Oh, well, this is its house.
Hey!
If only he had the magical medicine. Elixir.
Well, goodbye.
A shame about that, but I have to hold on to these for just so occasion.
You have 45 of them. Well, a
Never
lot
know.
of occasions.
Anything could happen.
Don't be a fool. This is Final Fantasy III. The occasion will occur.
Incidents will occur.
Have you considered bringing Granny over to the revivification pond?
Nah, it only works if she's dead. Which he's trying to
Well-
avoid.
Have you considered?
Also, she's not blessed by the crystal.
Also, yes, that is a thing in the plot here. Those springs only work on us because we are the Light Warriors.
Mhm.
For everyone else, they are just clean and refreshing water.
Yeah, they're sanctified fountains. Maybe the magic shop sells something new.
And now I see, oh god, there's every single place in this town's like, there's a secret here, but there might not be a secret there. Hello.
Venom and Bolt
Knowledge
and
of
Blind.
Bolt. Venom.
And I can
Blind.
buy more cure.
Yes.
Hmm.
Become aware.
Bolt is probably definitely okay.
So they made Bolt tier 2 in this game. Okay.
Like a bolt from the blue, wasn't? Oh right, Ice was tier 2 and 1, and Bolt was tier 1.
Yeah, there we go. Each of those is tier 2.
It does get a little bump in power also.
Zort.
Yeah, it's beefier than tier 1 magic.
Okay, there's not just a hole in the town wall.
Not
The
yet.
game has taught you to suspect everything.
Oh wait, is it? I'm
No, we
surprised
gotta
you're
go
not checking to the
all
left
the way
there.
down.
I'm
No, no.
surprised you're not seeing if you go under the bridge.
No, we gotta go all the way down the waterfall.
Yeah, we gotta
Also,
get
Arrow introduced as white magic.
Yes.
Yeah.
That holds true into 14.
Yeah, it's been white magic from I think here on out.
Nope.
Nope.
It's blue and 5.
Oh right.
That doesn't count.
It's
Those
black in a lot of
cheating.
other games.
Oh, is
it?
this a pain
Wait.
waterfall?
What? Is this actually hurting you?
You jumped down a waterfall.
Yes, it
A
is.
tiny bit of pain water.
It's not a very large waterfall.
Thank you for checking all the corners. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Because
this will.
the character.
This does the thing that 4 does, where a tile with an item in it cannot be walked into.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You
You're
just
on,
found the elixir.
It was just
it's a
laying
traveling
here in the
wizard hit a
grass.
potion in the town.
You're on layer 1 of secret.
Yep. Time to engage layer 2 of secrets. But yes, because the character sprite is like up to their nose in water, I just like to imagine them making a bubbling noise constantly as they walk around.
It only hurts you when you're going down the waterfall, not up.
Yeah, of course. You don't take damage from falling up a waterfall, Chrome. That's stupid.
Sorry, my mind blanked out there in incandescent.
Are we
rage.
not? Oh, okay.
Saving? No,
Just
I get
in
it.
case.
Just in case Sid's grandma turns into a beast.
I'm pretty sure that's his wife.
Yes, Granny is just a
They're both
weird
old and
translation, yes.
they rib each other over it. Sid's wife, the Queen Lamia.
Are you just terrified of any person that's in a bed at this point?
We've
No,
established a
that
precedent.
She's not hostile or anything. She's just a Queen Lamia.
You did it.
Hey, what happens if
Wha-
you keep talking to Sid?
What the? Oh, yes, 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 yes! Yes! Thank you, Roxy. I would have not remembered. Yes!
Goodbye!
Farewell! Oh, I love this game.
Sid never made it back to his home planet.
There can't be that much good stuff down here.
Let's find out.
Iron
Iron.
arrows? Blind?
What?
Phoenix
blind.
down?
Phoenix down, please.
It's-
Yes,
wasn't
the
there
Phoenix
blind?
down.
It's already
Was-
worth it for the Phoenix Down.
Yes.
Midgebread?
Midgar bread.
The Great
I'll
Great
mark
Bow.
your bow.
Yeah, but now we have to go check down here because we all know there's something else.
Well,
We have to
goodbye,
go deeper,
knives. Black Mage is an archer now, I guess.
And luckily you didn't buy blind.
You could make a bow fighter. You could make like a D&D bow fighter if you were
If you were so inclined.
But I have 2 swords.
you right.
It's twice the power of 1 sword.
The spirit of 8-bit theater's fighter compels you.
This class has 6 spells. The other class has 2.
Look. They're important spells.
Oh. How many
question
layers of
is,
secret are you
Is
on?
there an additional layer of secret?
You may never know for sure.
That question will haunt you for the rest of the game.
Is there another layer of secrets?
I don't think so.
How
No.
Is
many
there a
basements
secret
does Sid
in the
have?
transport corridor between the two secrets?
Now that's
A
talking.
question worth answering.
You're learning well. You're ready to take on this game.
Bloom just kicks us all out. All right, got it from here. I don't need your help anymore.
But yes, 2 Phoenix Downs is absolutely worth an elixir in this game, for what it's worth.
Yes.
Even once you get, like, revive stuff, if your mage dies,
You need those.
you do need those.
There he go.
It never stops being funny.
Just the jumping Sid. Whoosh. Away.
Boing.
Now here's the silly question: do we stay at the inn now that we went through the water so much? No, we do not stay at the inn now that we went through the water so much.
Out for 40 kill.
You could cast a cure spell and fix that.
That adds up, you know. I like how it's keeping track of our saves.
To shame you later, I guess.
Oh no, you just have a limited number of them. This is like,
There he is.
is that good? No.
Adventure. Let's
The
climb
thing
that
about
mountain.
adventure. Oh look, it's my favorite Maverick Hunter, Dive Eagle.
Birds live here.
Hey, Crumb, you were saying about finding softs.
I know. I was really worried. As soon as I saw the bird, my heart stopped.
What could be the matter? These aren't cockatrices. Apparently mithril rods are just a stick with a star on the end.
Is there a problem?
I guess there isn't.
Look, mithril shards are shaped like stars, and you just put them on a stick.
You know what? I can accept that logic.
Also, hi, Burb.
This one comes with a Gundam V-fin on its head.
Is there an eventual level where Onion will start swinging multiple times with his twin swords?
Yes.
Yes.
When your level hits 16, or your agility hits 16, or any multiplier thereof, you start getting more attack multipliers.
We can take a look at stats now and see how close he is.
That same holds true for intelligence and spell multipliers.
Okay, so we actually
He's
are very
already
One
close.
off.
Oh right,
That
he's
was
got
just
2x
more of an
attack
idle
multiplier because he's
curiosity.
dual wielding.
Yeah, the 2 attacks is because 2 swords. I can see the rest of the corridor leading there, but that's no excuse. That proves nothing.
Oh
Rustbird.
boy.
Rust birds.
I like how these aren't just a strict palette swap of Dive Eagle. These are an entirely different sprite.
Wait a
I
minute.
appreciate the effort, but why? They're in the same dungeon square.
Firefly, you say?
These look like the land mantas from the previous game.
Yes.
Oh, look, they know how to cast fire.
Hotfish.
Hot land fish.
Ah yes, my favorite Kojima villain.
Also, man, I'm glad I don't have to take voice calls at work, so I can just literally turn my chair around and come over and chat while also working.
Multitask.
Powerful technique.
It's a good shtick if you can get it. Just, whatchamacallit, back-end work today?
No, though we are moving to back-end work soon. I'm just on chats, and it's just very quiet.
Oh, I see.
Well, relatively quiet. I don't have double chats all day long for 8 hours straight.
So when the rust bird hits you, does it destroy any metal equipment?
The
That
only
would be
person
very
it's been
funny.
attacking is Anion, so we don't know.
I think it just can petrify you, but that's mostly based on, like, having a fear response to my memory of that image.
Just the intrinsic reflexive aversion.
No, I get it. That's fair.
Important visual shorthand. Bird is danger.
Do not trust bird.
Well, I appreciate the game answering my question of, oh boy, softs, how close are we to petrifying monsters? I was hoping it wouldn't be this close.
The answer was adjacent.
Oh!
How many
Look.
fucking birds are there in this?
Welcome to
dungeon?
Bird Mountain,
Listen.
where birds live.
If a game is gonna give you a new thing, it's gonna be useful right now, whether you like it or not.
That's fair. It's
That's efficiency.
Okay, it got game. It's a rock. ROC.
No,
Rook
it's Rook.
is actually the original spelling.
Fantastic, but still ROC. Come on.
I mean, it's quite possible that the. Remember, this is being transliterated back from Japanese, which
Ah, the
is
Brook.
impressive.
I wonder what his philosophy was on this type of stuff. Was he going for literal translation or what?
This is not the original translation. Is the other.
Oh,
So
I
this
believe,
has gone through at least one iteration.
unless they changed it, this translation had made a couple unfortunate decisions, one of which we're bound to run into pretty soon.
We'll find out, I guess.
and we can think that all happened right around us. Like 20 years ago.
Thousands of years ago, in the early 2000s. The late 90s?
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Late 90s, I think.
Yeah, late
Very
90s.
late 90s.
This is a really stupid question. Do bows do extra damage to birds?
I don't think so, not intrinsically. Sure is going to be nice when we find one of those arrow spells. Oh, that's why you're asking. Because you're under the impression that a bow fires arrows. No? Alright.
I'm just gonna let that one slide.
Alright, fair enough.
Sure is strange that one kind of mage has received way more types of magic than another.
Mm-hmm. They've kind of been going back and forth because the white mage only learned how to cast Cure and Pure, but they learned more spells than the black mage did at the start, and now it's flip-flopping.
Black Mage is putting in work with Ice on Fire types, and that blind is really cutting down damage that's incoming. Because even if they still hit, they will probably be hitting with fewer of their multipliers.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's in the box.
Still worries me.
It's in the box, a warning.
A warning, but also like it's just a bundle of Charmin. It's soft and downy.
Mm-hmm. Abandon all flexibility. You enter here.
The jokes are coming hard and fast tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say hard and fast.
Ha.
I think it's because everybody's in a good mood and the game hasn't done anything even remotely egregiously stupid
Look
yet.
at that mountain vista up there, that solid green mountain vista.
You know, those famous green mountains of, there might be some green mountains in India somewhere?
We're in Mesopotamia.
I got nothing.
Yeah, it's the fertile river valley. The Fertile Crescent.
The Green Mountains in Vermont.
Can't believe we're here in scenic New Jersey.
I was waiting for you to say it. I really was.
Like I said, we're in a good mood tonight. Yeah.
That might be double attacks from Onion now.
Yes.
Who?
Yes.
It's time.
The fighter.
Who?
Onion. Arrow.
Here we go.
Good. Our black mage. Now you know what, I did that already.
Alright, I get to delete 3 birds. Choose
Or-
wisely.
Mangle 3 groups of birds.
We'll see how much damage it does. It is a second level spell after all.
Yeah, I don't think we've tested damage on second level spells yet.
We
Well,
have.
no better time than the present.
You shouldn't input the run command. I don't know if you're aware.
Oh yeah, the run command does things to your stats.
Wait, what?
It reduces both your defense and your vitality and your defense multipliers all to 0. Which means
You're-
that these birds would be hitting for probably in the thousands.
You will
I was
get
reaching for the magic command.
You will get incredibly destroyed if you run.
So you just never run in this game?
Correct.
There is a circumstance under which you run in this game. Do you want to know what it is, Crumb?
No.
We'll find out eventually, I'm sure. I love how
Really digging the
defeated-
multiple attack commands now.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, that first agility threshold is a big...
It's a beefy one, yeah.
Note to self. If I ever do this, get here at level 9.
Right, game, laying it on a bit thick, aren't we?
Again, more birds. Never a fun thing.
Dive Eagle.
You know, it's the character with 2 buttons, dive and eagle.
It's fine. We have knowledge of the power.
Mm-hmm. We can administer swift death to these birds, if such is our desire. As the cursor gets magnetically attracted to it. Wow, that is a damage spike.
As I am adjusting something on the side for somebody, and this is very, very off topic. Just a list of characters in Suikoden 2. And it's really weird how some are listed with their last names and some aren't.
Yeah, it's awfully inconsistent about that, if I recall correctly.
Oh, we're halfway up the mountain. It's letting you save before getting to the peak.
Yes.
Suspicious.
Oh,
Also, goodbye.
Note the developers had the idea of giving you of kludging in the possibility of a mid-dungeon checkpoint by letting you leave the dungeon. Tiny Bahamut's. Bark.
Bark. Apparently these are chocobos.
Bark. Egg.
They're very hungry.
Let us...
Russell.
Jimmy's rustled. Also, hi.
I am Onion.
Cursed. Well, that's great and all, Chief, but maybe we should get out of here before the dragon feeds us to its children. Panic.
Some sort
In
of
case
situation
you're in-
where you should really run away because, hey, here's Bahamut.
It's Bahamut.
It's Bahamut.
Hi.
Bahamut's
Do not
here.
pursue the dragon.
how are you doing today, Bahamut? You seem nice.
Goodbye.
Good, you got away in one try. That's very good.
Because Bahamut will do max damage to you if you don't.
If there was a Final Fantasy Dynasty Warriors, would Dragoons be the Lu Bu?
No.
I mean, they made him a dragon in Hyrule Warriors.
Hi,
No.
Dash.
Looks like we're gonna have to jump.
I mean, like, okay, what are you basing characters off of in this Final Fantasy Dynasty Warriors? Is it like,
Yeah, it'd have to be individual characters, I think, and not job classes.
I think Lu Bu would just be the blue mage.
it's
Blue,
Orlando?
if you will.
Hello, Dash. How you doing?
There's Dash just dashing about over there.
More powerful.
Alternatively, y'all are missing the very obvious answer, and even if we restrict it to only main character, Shantoto is Lubu.
Who?
Shantoto from 11,
Oh,
the
that would
terrifying super wizard,
explain- I see.
11
the
and
queen of
14.
black magic.
Oh,
Small
ho,
friend.
Ho, 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 ho. Okay, so if Bahamut roughed you up, you could just come here and heal.
Yes.
Yes. But there's also another important reason they've given you that.
Status curing fountain.
Yes.
Do we need to be small to look? Oh, it's the Forest of the South. Okay.
We need to enter the Forest of the Small. But first,
Berserker.
Berserker!
Game, you're not fooling me. You stole this straight from Dragon Warrior.
If you're gonna steal, steal from the best. Or Dragon Warrior, one or the other.
At the time, yes, the best.
Squaresoft for looking at Enix and being like, can you please, notice our games?
Eventually, Senpai would notice them.
Nope. Already doing triple-digit numbers with basic attacks this early in the game.
Look, when you're a fighter, you have one job.
Also, I think these are still like the same enemies you could find around your starting town, so they're not really intended to be too much of a threat.
Fair.
I think actually they're probably literally here to give you job points if you fucked up.
Now, where in these woods?
It's the center mass of the bit you're in.
You're missing something important.
Yes, I need to become small first.
He gave you many.
And the game's nice enough to let you multi-target it.
Welcome to Tozas, land of small.
And goofy
Dash,
ass
you're
music.
adorable. Does
The
Dash
tiny
say anything?
dash.
Tiny dashes, surefire.
Tiny mages. Not mages because they have to, because they want to. Mages because they have to.
Are you all mages yet? You should be mages now. Are you a mage?
You should be like using wizards, right? You brought wizards of some sort.
How many-
Remember, wizard is the opposite of a fighter.
How many levels of magic are you on?
None? Problem.
You are a tiny baby? Good, be a wizard.
Are you a wizard? Good, be tiny baby.
How bad would it be if Onion was just a red mage instead?
You'd probably not hit the 16 intelligence threshold, and that's pretty bad.
You are tiny, like a little doll.
Prove you are tiny.
Whatever.
Why is black mage the opposite of a red mage?
Obviously, they're opposite colors. Don't think about it.
That is science. You're right.
Because red mages can use swords and black mages cannot.
Why is white mage the same as fighter?
Don't worry about it. Paladins.
Yeah, clerics is the same.
You might notice your physical stats are stuck at 1 no matter
Yes.
what you do.
When you are a small, you are a small. That begins here. There's no
So
point in
deep
putting
doesn't
armor on
matter.
the small.
Okay. Cool. That's neat.
Oh, excuse me.
Vikings live there.
Oh boy.
Now, welcome to Banners.
What?
I'm doing crime. You can't stop me.
Your paranoia has been extremely rewarded here because you don't want to not have those tier 3 spells.
Yeah, specifically, you don't want to not have Cure 2.
Hello, the burning staff.
I'm guessing that does what I think it does and just casts fire.
No, it's actually just on fire.
You get to burning.
Wizards, remember.
Oh, can we just go to Burning Man?
No.
Well, I mean, you can if you want to. I wouldn't.
Burning
Wait,
staff
is the burning staff for white
mage.
mages?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. I dig it.
Well, alright then. Well, thanks.
That was quick.
They must have gotten food poisoning, whoever this kindly soul was.
We will
Before
return
we
for
go.
this. We've need of
Or
crime.
given the- Mm-hmm.
Alright, that one isn't
We've come to
real.
this village of very small people, and we're going to rob them blind.
We're gonna engage in very small crimes.
That's hobbits.
Sure.
Ah,
Ah, naturally.
Midgar bread.
Oh.
Really, really bizarre translation decision.
Yep.
They could have
No,
gone
this-
with anything.
no,
Yeah,
it's called that in the next game too.
Yeah, it's gnomish bread in modern translation.
Strange that the small bread gives you the power to see the map, though.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. I don't disagree. It's just it's consistent about that. Strange smell.
Smell. Magic shop is here, though.
Thank you.
More arrow can be acquired. In case
Yes.
you want
More
to
If
be...
fire
I wanted to
can also be
propagate
acquired.
arrow. Fire will do.
If you're a red wizard, that means you get, anti-bird.
It's worth
Didn't need to
noting
double
that
tap
if
on
you
this.
end up with too much of spells, your non-casters can still hold on to them and
Yeah.
Yeah, they,
not have
they
charges.
live in the magic inventory of your non-casters.
Yeah, I have in mind here that Anyan right now is an item mule.
hmm
3 people can throw magic attacks, and that's probably fine. It's
And
fine.
Anyan can cheerlead. Y'all got an in?
They don't seem to have an inn.
Oh well.
Unless I can just use the bed that I freed up by curing this guy.
That's a negative.
Well,
What's in that pot, though? Or did we already check that?
nothing.
Okay.
We're... Onion has no mana. That's the only thing
Onion has
missing
no
here.
mana. That's the big one.
There is one upside to this truly terrible design decision, which is that if your defense is already 0, it doesn't really cost anything to drop it to 0.
Yes, running away is free.
Two stick.
There.
Does our other wizard also have mithril ring?
Yes.
We must have spares somehow. Oh, that's why.
That will suit you up anyway.
Might as well.
Eventually, we will unsmall.
Yep. Apparently, those wizards can wear mithril helmets.
And mithril vest.
And mithril mail, yeah. Alright then. Well-known armor wizards.
And away we go.
Dark Face!
I want to go home.
Wow, that's something.
We can't go home, Crumb. We're on an adventure.
Goodbye.
Bye!
Also, yeah, if our defenses are already as low as possible, I guess running is not a
It's
problem.
free. It's absolutely free.
The one time it's an okay idea.
There's another time.
Well,
Admittedly, there's reasons.
they really thought this was a good idea.
Fortunately, these enemies have, like, next to no attack. Which is good, because you have next to no defense. Leprechaun. I quite like their tiny spears and also their tiny overalls. Encounter rate here way higher than it's been anywhere else.
They just really want to show you these cool enemies that they thought of.
Admittedly, they have some really neat sprite work.
They did seem to stop doing the thing at this point where they just tried to, like, trace Amano's designs directly, but in pixels. Which had some mixed results.
Yes. Some of it worked really well. Some of it ended up with Boffo the Pirate from the last game.
Excuse me, I think you mean Borgand.
Well, also that, but...
The dread Prince of Hell, Zomborgan. Well, we're over here now.
Do we deem many?
You
We
can
can stop
for a
being-
bit. We are not totally free of many, though.
There may be yet further many.
Yet
In the
further
future.
many is the reason to really good idea to save some of your attacking items.
You broke... Wait, was that
Is
just
one
me?
of the reasons to save attack items. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Look at these things. They're adorable.
These are friends.
These look like they belong in Pokemon.
They kind of do, yeah. They really look like extremely 8-bit Pokemon. Which, I guess, was original Pokemon? You're all in the back row.
My
No, you're not.
8-bit demake of Pokemon.
Look.
My 8-bit update of Pokemon because Pokemon was a 4-bit game.
Boat!
Boat!
Time to vote.
Boatsing. Boat,
Yeah, I
no.
want a boat.
What if we crimed us a boat?
Pursue
No, we can't
boat.
actually let you get on the boat. There's gonna be a 2-hour event in here where they tell you you're gonna get on the boat, but you're not gonna.
Welcome.
Ooh, hello.
Welcome.
You should test that theory, newbie.
No.
Fire's still hot.
Ah, back to this song.
You fool!
Hmm.
There we go. Great!
$30.
We take
Look.
that.
Same.
Tons of pirates, also known as 5. Sorry, Vikings.
The entire Viking kingdom.
I guess it's redundant at this point, but there's hidden stuff around here.
We found the
You don't
300
say.
gold. There must be more, though.
Like his fashion sense. Oh, hi.
Magic store.
In which we might want to use.
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we're fine. Or not. But also, it's just 40 gold. That's nothing.
Get actual mana into the red mage.
Yes.
Game automatically walks you back out of the inn.
No, you can't do much in an inn, can you? Other than sleep. And you just did that. Oh yes, the Cannonball Depository.
Hello.
I want these boxes. Give me these boxes.
Relinquish your cubes.
The cubes will not concede easily.
I forgot about the fake hidden passage just to fuck with you.
Oh, is it gonna
Oh, boy.
Yep. Yep.
Oh boy.
Get equipped.
Power.
Do we put it all in the same person, or do we
Yes.
spread it out?
Yes.
Power.
Bet it all on Figgle.
Also, Onion can't even cast level 3
I can
spells
use
at this
2
point.
of these 3 spells.
Correct. Make him good.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure at this point they expect you to be rolling with like a white mage and 3 black mages.
I believe
And-
Desh gives you some advice to that effect, yes.
Yeah.
Cowards.
You could just get on the ship and sail away, but then you'd be killed by the sea dragon. If you go past the cave,
Oh,
you'll get killed by the sea dragon. Have we warned you enough times about the sea dragon?
the
Does
what?
that cannon do anything?
Does this cannon do anything? Yes.
It sure
Got him.
does! Thanks, Final Fantasy III!
Sir?
Uh-oh. Okay, we might have to walk down and then
Sir.
come back onto this floor.
Yep.
Or it's just fine.
Or there's just enough space. Old
It
man?
was just there to draw your attention to it. Why does everybody keep leaving 30 bucks in these boxes?
That's enough to outfit you with the basic elemental spells.
Ah, fair enough.
Waterfall, though.
Revivification.
Your revives are hidden. Not that well hidden, but you better be looking.
Sir. Why do they let this guy wander?
It might be so that you could see exactly what happened to you. He could see the invisible wall.
God, I forgot about the interactable cannon. It's so stupid.
I think you mean amazing.
Well, yes, I do, but... Well,
Hey,
it's
let's get
time
on
to
the boat.
completely disregard all the advice we've been given and sail out past the cave.
God, making HP and MP different colors is just such a good idea.
Yes. Boat adventure!
Oh! This is fine!
It's
We
fine.
can take him.
I have spells!
Let's give him the business!
I've just
Eat
acquired
this.
the
Pull
limitless
two.
power of Bolt 2.
Also, yeah, somebody mentioned, check this guy's sprite. Oh,
Teeth!
Okay. Oh.
Immune to air? Or no.
Oh, it just missed.
Onion just missed. Alright. board. Sure don't have any way to revive people in the field.
Yep.
Teeth.
Sure are getting incredibly destroyed by Nepto.
You're dealing less damage this. How did you stop? What?
Don't ask
Only
stupid questions.
one of the two.
Clearly, I
players
need to
hit
use
that
status
time.
effects.
Now.
You know, if you inflict a blind, yeah.
Ineffective! And yeah, something about this monster has very why hello there feelings associated with it.
Ah, was it you who rang the bell of awakening?
Oh my god, you're right! Oh no, why did you say that? Oh,
You know, if everyone were in the back row, we could have just. Hey, why did it not? Okay, cursor
It
memory.
started on new game.
Hold on. Hit the button.
Gurgan.
Yes,
the
the
Gurgan
Gurgan.
quietly spoke. You moron! You absolute dumbass!
Oh,
Anyway,
what if
there's a
we didn't
dungeon
do
you're
that?
supposed to do instead of
Correct.
charging face first into Leviathan.
But first, Berserkers.
5 of
Friendly
them.
berserker.
They do seem abnormally happy about things.
Wait, how much HP does Nepto have? What?
You're not supposed to fight Nepto.
Don't HP.
Do not fight Nepto.
You can with dark inventory stuff, but then you just win and it spits you out.
Yes, you don't actually get to move on is the problem.
Yes, this council of berserker. Top minds have convened. They have come to the aid of the pirates.
Mhm. Unfortunately, they're very misinformed about who their pirates' enemies are.
Berserker, friend to Viking.
Meanwhile, here in the Parthenon,
And I'm gonna step away a moment. Soon.
soon. So, chat, what do y'all think of the game so far?
I mean, Hinata, Shadowbringers in its entirely is basically just this game.
In case it wasn't clear, Shadowbringers is just an extended FF3 joke.
This plays in the Shadowbringers trailer and is a motif in some
Wait,
other music.
this plays in the Shadowbringers trailer?
Yes.
Hang on, going to YouTube, be right back.
Spoilers, when they show the shot of the Crystal Tower, they play Final Fantasy III music.
Ah, for fuck's sake.
Yup. It's so good. It's because it's really good music. And the Crystal Eggs arc basically uses this as...
Speaking of 14, I might have to leave a bit early to go be a raid nerd.
No, how dare you?
Gotta get that stuff ready before, patch drops.
Probably going back to finish T, which...
Well, time to go into Weird Time Jail. Roxy, I have a problem.
What's your problem?
I picked up a third MMO.
Yeah,
Why?
that sounds like a problem.
Because a bunch of my friends are playing Destiny, and I'm like, oh, I remember Destiny being fun.
Newbie.
I can't keep up with one.
I mean, okay, so like 2 of the MMOs I play, I just log in and do it daily, if that, every day. I don't play every day.
Yes, I understand, but Destiny really?
Why do you say it like really?
Hey, if you have fun playing it, play it.
Destiny's a fine game. It's actually really good.
I've heard
Case in point.
words to the contrary.
I don't know from who.
That may have been some archaic information. Destiny's changed a lot over its.
Here's the deal: when
Adventure.
it was first released, Destiny had problems. It's fine and good now. It's fun.
If only
What
there
if
were a
we
way to become tiny.
Only.
What
We
if
did a small
walked
dungeon right
into
after the small
Dragon's
dungeon.
Eye socket? This seems like a good idea.
What if I just became non-tiny now that I have entered the tiny zone? There was just the hole preventing me from going through the statue, right? Right?
That'd be wonderful.
No.
No, you dumbass.
Refuse.
Also, far be it for me to stop you. Have a fun time, but I'm pretty sure with the amount of charges on the level 3 spells you have right now, you'll fizzle out before you're done here.
Don't be absurd. We have our.
I have
for
combat
that.
items.
We can flee for that.
Godspeed.
Now featuring Lilliputs.
The small dungeons are home to small creatures.
Correct.
Now choose.
No life left to live.
The serpent sword that you're definitely going to use here in small dungeon.
Look.
I think it hits ocean enemies, which means it's very good right after small dungeon.
Is this a red mage sword? No.
No.
It is a regular
Fighter
sword.
Yeah, the serpent sword is a sword for the fighter. Or any other class where you might be, oh boy.
Rat.
Prepare for big rats!
It's larger than a usual rat.
It's a big rat.
The rat is big.
The rat gets its own boss music.
Well, the rat is a normal size. You're tiny.
Yes. Ah yes, the leader of the rat rebellion against Harmonia.
Oh, right, the burning staff.
I might try invoking that, see if it does anything. Rat.
Still alive.
Big rat means business.
Hey, who taught this regular rat magic?
Look. Sometimes you just gotta cast level 2 magics.
Let me go look up the TM list for Rattata.
Please do, I'm curious now.
Can
It's
it
like-
learn Fire Blast?
I'm a little surprised you're not having your monk throw potions at your mangled men.
Cure 2.
Ah, that's fair.
Now, see, if the rat decides that someone's time on this earth is over, you really can't intervene. That's fate.
That's fair.
Which element was it using? Fire?
Fire.
Because I can see that it can learn Thunderbolt, Thunder, Blizzard, and Ice Beam, but I'm not seeing any fire.
Huh.
Rat's got some serious magic defense.
Oh, that's in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Okay, let me take a look at other generations.
I went over to my Chrome tabs and I still had this picture of Sid from 2 open.
Good. As is only right and proper.
Also,
Poisoned this rat.
as an aside,
What if I poison the rat?
because we were talking about it and it has crossed over at this point. For any of y'all out there in the audience that have yet to witness it in your ear parts, FF14 has a fucking amazing remix of this boss theme.
Really?
Yeah, for the Crystal Tower dungeon.
All right. I'll look. Oh, you linked it. Thank you kindly.
Yes.
Well, I may just run out of resources fighting rat.
Running alliance roulettes every day.
So it wants you to have 3 different black mages, each with a level 3 spell. Okay, I get it.
Preferably each with 2 charges of a level 3 spell.
Yeah.
This rat has, frankly, way more HP than it ever needed to.
It's fine. It's fine. It's out of MP.
Is it though? Is it ever?
I mean, you might be able to grind it out if you...
Just hit with your tiny fists.
How much HP does rat have?
Enough.
Enough.
Have at you.
Mm.
Throw every spell out, see what happens.
The burning staff is better than nothing.
Yep. Frankly, Enyan is doing okay with their first.
Again, y'all keep emphasizing
go.
Oh, you
that
Done.
it's bigger than a normal rat, and I have to remind you, it's not. It's just you're so tiny.
The big
Skill
rat
up.
has 450 health.
I've been proven wrong.
In the DS remake, it has 1,150.
Yeah.
You did
Well,
get...
time to walk back out of here.
It is pretty lucky that you survived that big fire hit with exactly 1 health.
Yes, that was fate.
Exactly.
Allegiance or death.
Fake fire.
God damn it!
Ah, worm.
I don't want to be
Bloodworm.
here anymore.
Alternatively, worm.
Oh, worm?
I don't want to read that. It's too long.
The guides I pulled up, just because I was curious what they would suggest for the rat, all say, you need to be level 11 to even have a chance at this. I'm going,
No.
Sound like coward talk.
Correct.
There's lots of coward talk in the guides for Final Fantasy games about what level you should be.
Yes.
There's coward talks in most guys. Chrome, was I not under leveled for like the majority of Dragon Quest IV?
I want to talk
Yes.
about
Seeing
game design elements that engender passivity. JRPGs somehow draw out immense fear and hoarding instinct on first contact with people.
I haven't
I
bought
mean-
all the best gear in the town yet. I can't go anywhere.
Loon, I don't know if you ever played Baldur's Gate, but it's not just JRPGs that do that. Not necessarily passivity, but fear. Extreme fear.
That's a different kind of fear. That's just that you will never be safe and you live with that fear.
Yes, yeah. But also
Also-
don't go anywhere without a way of removing the fear status effect. Jesus Christ, don't do it.
Also, hoarding. The first time I played Morrowind, I stole absolutely every plate and thing from the first house that you're in after you get off the boat, because I didn't know any better.
Right. And
I
then
mean,
you
that's just smart.
realized you would have no urgent need for adventuring tableware and moved on.
That means you aren't thinking enough about adventuring.
That's okay, fair, but like for the less creative adventure.
So what's in the other half of this dungeon?
A good question. What is in the other half of this dungeon?
Just 2 boxes.
Treasure.
Just goodies.
The carapace helmet?
Yeah, you know, just a carapace helmet.
And a
carapace
carapace
armor.
vest.
Of course, you would find armor made from
From
bugs
here in
in
the
Tiny
tiny
Dungeon.
dungeon. And it is
gotta be
not for
fighter
Red
gear.
Mage. I guess it's fighter gear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay, but does the armor get big with us?
Yes.
Does it?
Let's find out.
They're telegraphing pretty hard that fighter's about to be real good again.
Oh, whoo.
The apology for making you put away your fighter.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, this was a lot more painless than well, not actually painless, but
That fight was... Loon got very lucky.
less grueling than I
Also, note
remembered.
the danger output on the Pootie here. They could just decide
Yeah.
that anyone on the line is dead.
Ow.
Also, maybe you just don't get a chance to
Maybe
run
you
away.
just don't escape.
What if our black maged at them?
With what?
We're completely out of ammo?
Pretty much.
Loon
Not
got lucky.
liking this combat right now.
This is fine. Goodbye! Look at how fine everything is.
We do also have the benefit of a bunch of people who know what to prepare for.
That's fair,
Exactly.
yeah. The Loon has warning, which is, as everybody knows, the most powerful intrinsic in NetHack.
I'm just along for the ride.
And now
Here,
we can
have
return to normal. Wrong person.
I played a phone game, and that's my entire bit of knowledge.
Oh, wait, no, you're not joking. Right, never mind. I forgot about the thing.
The thing that I
Wow.
do once a week.
3?
Correct.
Hello, useful job levels.
Yeah.
They just do the victory dance immediately after putting a job on. They love it.
Oh, yeah, you know, just celebrate your new profession.
I'd be pretty
Certainly.
psyched to just, like, magically know how to do some shit.
Swords.
Serpent has
Wow.
less attack power than a mithril sword, but it probably does a lot extra damage against
Fish.
fish.
Where did my mithril glove go? There it is.
Either
how
that
much
or it's
attack
because of
power
how-
would you have with the mithril sword in the other hand?
It might be based on two-handing. It has a weird
44.
property on how it does stuff.
It looks like the serpent sword is stronger.
Yes.
When you put one weapon on and then the second one gave a greater boost. I think when you're dual wielding, it shows a higher value overall,
It's quite possible.
which is interesting. Did you do the thing?
I don't
or-
think
okay.
I actually interacted with the thing to put the eye back yet. No.
No.
I sleep
Let's
with
go
you.
take a nap first.
Yes.
We are tired. Did you do the thing with the thing? I could be more descriptive, I'm sure.
But you're not going to be.
Again, I have no idea what's going on.
You had the right of it.
Whose fault is that?
Mostly mine. And also everyone, when I asked, hey, how is Final Fantasy 3 DS? And they said, don't play it.
In case you'd forgotten what you were supposed to be doing. Dash
Yep.
is here to remind
Guests
you.
do that for you.
That is a nice touch.
When they took 3DS and put it on Steam, did they rebalance it for more monsters?
No,
I don't
God
think so.
damn it!
they're just ports.
If you want to play FF3, play the version Loon's playing.
They were
I
doing
mean,
remakes real good for a while there, and then they were just like,
Fuck it.
Those advanced ones? We don't care about those. Those weren't good. They didn't sell well.
I mean, Final Fantasy IV Advanced was very buggy. Still amazing, but still buggy.
Yeah, it was also very much. What I find really weird is that, like, both the remakes of 4 were their own weird, different animal from the actual FF4.
Yeah.
As opposed to FF5 GBA, which was just FF5, but with some classes added. And I think maybe
Most of which are
some
bad.
bugs changed?
Most of the things added in the GBA version, for only the GBA version, is bad.
Yeah, okay, but they're like extremely endgame and 500% optional, so I don't really care.
That's like, yeah, Sealed Temple is bad, so you just ignore it. It isn't real and can't waste your time.
Yeah, like it's extremely cordoned off in its own part.
The Dragon's Den is not a good dungeon in Final Fantasy VI.
Oh, that's the GBA 6. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Were there new GFs? Espers? In
Yes.
6?
Yes.
Okay.
4 of them.
Gigantor.
Right.
3 are
right.
fine to get. 1 is no.
Isn't one like arena shenanigans?
Yes.
What's the arena?
But that's actually not that hard.
Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Every remake of an old game puts Gilgamesh in it.
I see. Got extremely lost after being banished to the void, I see. I mean, in fairness, he did end up in 9, so I guess that's canon now.
Gilgamesh is in what, the extra dungeons in 1, right?
Yeah.
Dragons is weird.
Now we have the Water Fang. Now we can smash that barrier of water that is definitely a thing we know about in
That
the
won't
next
sit in
30
our-
hours.
Yep. That won't sit in our inventory for the next 80%
Wait, does
of
it take
the
up
game.
a spot?
I think so.
So wait, is Nepto's Eye the inspiration for Nidhogg's eyes?
You know, now that you say it out loud, very much maybe.
Maybe it isn't in our... Oh, there it is. Never mind.
It is there.
God, it would be wild if this were the impetus behind the
I mean,
class
like-
that launched 1,000 jumps into AoEs.
Boat.
Boat is now us.
Boat in. Boat up.
Forms of transportation within the first 3 hours. 2.
Now we have immense freedom to fight these Sahaugen.
3. I forgot about the canoe.
Don't worry, I'm sure the game will find a way to take the canoe away from us.
Sahaugen.
Don't be absurd, Crumb. What could possibly take Boat away from us?
Oh, we have a boat now, so we don't need this canoe. Tosses canoe overside. Why?
If we reinforce the canoe with Mithril, we can smash it through this door.
No!
I love how that is Sid's plan. The Warriors of Light had nothing to do with that. They're just like, yeah,
They
okay,
are
it's his
children.
airship.
They don't know better than to contradict the strange old man and his scheme.
It's his airship. He must know what he's doing.
Wait, smashing through a big barrier with Mithril? 14
That sounds
Sid.
about right.
14 Sid, come on. You're just stealing.
Look,
well,
I don't know
14
how to
Sid's
break
only
this to
job
you.
is to pierce barriers. He is their barrier expert.
I don't even know
Increasingly
enough about
large,
14.
potent, or abstract sorts of barrier.
Yeah, pretty much every time there is a barrier with something in the sky, they go, well, time to go talk to Sid. And Sid goes, well, you need Aether.
In the
and-
sky or on the ocean. Yeah, the answer's always the same. We just need a bigger battery.
Also, Vinay, 14's free trial goes up to the end of Heavensward now.
Heaven Swords. You can play the first 2 expansions on the free trial.
This place
Alternatively,
seems nice.
alternatively, you can just wait for me to do my eventual full stream of the story.
It's
Well, there is
fine.
that. But Zed, you have to understand, My computer cannot even run the benchmark tester for Final Fantasy XIV.
Also, Zed, the other thing to understand, to put this in a better retrospective, Vinay's computer suffers when it tries to run Discord.
The child's response to seeing you is to crawl into the fireplace.
I mean, I've seen Vinay's computer.
Is it actually made of wood?
It's probably just the fact that it's the same computer that he's been running NetHack and like Dwarf Fortress on since like, I don't know,
2010.
late 2010. Yeah, I was thinking.
Get a new computer!
No, this one
Vinay!
still works.
What
It's
is your
fine.
increasingly narrow definition of works?
This is true, but as long as I can successfully redefine it, it will.
It is the
continue
year
to work.
2020. There is stronger wood you could make your computer out of.
Temper that wood.
Upgrade to mahogany.
The
God
God's
Lord.
Wine.
Berserk.
Another great bow.
Uh-oh.
Crumb's bullshit senses are tingling.
My pattern recognition senses are saying something bad's about to happen.
Oh no, Crumb's defeated pattern recognition, man.
Lamia scale.
Lamia skull.
I am now absolutely terrified.
Don't be absurd, Crumb. Treasures are hidden for those who seek them.
Oh, hey, the Elder's here.
Mm-hmm. We have no idea how to use those weapons. If you do, please help.
That village that was to the northeast of the temple, was that the place we've come from before?
3 parts. There's actually more
I'm
than
sorry,
2 kinds
what?
of nunchuck. Here's a section
Yes.
staff.
Yes! Get equipped with all the stupid Suikoden and main character weapons.
A 3-section staff and a tonfa. There we go.
Yeah, this is the dumbest loadout I've ever seen in my
This is what
life.
peak performance looks like. I have attained the 10th
Oh.
level, swinging more and more sticks, chains to
Oh,
sticks
boy.
together.
Are you using a monk? Because if you're using a monk, maybe you should be, you know,
You heard
using a monk.
about martial art? Are you a boxer?
Have you achieved the way of the Fu?
Oh, wow, that's a big defense boost.
Mm-hmm.
God, that sound effect every time you leave a screen is gonna kill me.
Dash, please. Oh, well, alright then.
The King of Argus knows the secret of airships. The King of Argus has also been pillaging this town. Gurgans, you say?
Well, I'm sure we'll never need to talk to them.
What were Gurgans called in the remake?
I think?
Gulgans? Like,
Yeah,
that's the
Gulgans.
word. There's just, it has that phoneme that is between L and R.
Yeah, so they just did a thing to it.
Freezing staff.
You have a burning and a freezing staff on hand.
Now you can cast Antipode.
I have become HVAC, destroyer of worlds.
Good.
You're still level 8. This
Is there
great.
a problem with that?
No, I love it.
The numbers don't lie.
We're on curve. If we weren't, Big Rat would have leveled us up.
Very,
Big
very
Rat
good.
is the gatekeeper of this world. Also, just
Yeah,
letting
now
it
the-
slide into place in my mind that we have this hidden weapon that we don't know how to use. Please help. And it's a 3-way staff.
Well, I mean, would you know how to
Can
use
someone
that if
explain
you were-
this?
What the hell is this thing?
Also, this armor, which none of us can wear.
Look, a Kung Fu man once lived here. Now he does not.
Okay, I see a castle.
I see a hermit.
Hermit crab.
Not
This is a
hermit
form
crab,
of crab.
just hermit. See, these are the things that hermit crabs take after the actual owners have vacated their shells. These are what originally lived in the hermit crab shells.
Destroyed.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, sure. Delete it.
The hits from the serpent staff are doing double damage, so yeah.
What's in the castle?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
level 9. I thought it was 8.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
Welcome to Argus.
Surely someone in here will be friendly.
Uh,
I love how Desh's palette
Dash, why are you
changes
blue?
I'm guessing walls are things you can be checking.
Yes,
Yes.
extremely.
Hmm.
I
don't
remember
remember.
Argus Castle having many a secret passage.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how many, but quite a few.
Several.
More and more.
I'm
Meter
curious
table?
if the rooms we passed already had like 9.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile,
You
this
should
this must be where the Knights of the Round Table hang out.
probably try to go into the back end of that suspicious wall in the middle of the room.
Are the boys back?
Bomb shards.
Called it, Roxy.
Southwind.
Oh,
The double
boy.
secret.
Nested secret passage. For the
I-
paralyzer.
Sincerely don't remember if there's a third secret.
Great.
There are fireworks going off outside.
Why?
It's August.
Fireworks season is permanent. Except this.
Fireworks are omnipresent and everlasting.
Okay, gonna immediately close anything I just looked up on Argus Castle because I don't want to get spoiled.
On FF3.
Yeah, I understand. I was like, I'll find the secret item so I can be like, oh, maybe it's over there. And then I saw what was there and went, never mind, closing this forever.
I mean,
Fully featured healing suite.
for Warriors of Light only. I wonder if you need to examine a crest or something to open. Because there have been other passages opened by examining.
Pull a torch.
Pull a torch, that sort of thing.
You're learning.
I guessed, man.
Nailed
You're
it,
thinking
newbie.
with adventure.
Now you're thinking with adventure.
Did you
It's
need
just
money?
a treasury.
Big money.
No, it's the treasury.
Oh,
That's the treasury.
That's the treasury, alright.
You really don't want to not find this.
An entire
money.
dollar in that box.
that is so much. What the?
Big prizes. What's behind door number 2? No, it's locked.
Oh, we need to go find
We
the
do not
elves.
get to steal
You do not
all of
need to go
Argus in
find the
one
elves,
go.
Crumb.
This is a different kind of you need to go find.
Gurgans, you say?
Seriously, where is everybody?
That's a good question. Anyhow,
Historically, every place we've been to has been pretty haunted.
That's a good question, man.
People wearing the crest of Argus have been raiding villages, but there's no one here at Argus, so...
it
I
is a
wanna find
mystery.
that answer. Find that energy.
I'm gonna guess most of the stuff was picked up.
For
If not
now.
all.
Adventure.
Oh, they came back with friends.
They look so happy to see us. Just pulls out so many sticks.
It worries me a little bit that the game just handed you, via a secret passage, 6,000 gold.
That's what secret passages are for, Crumb. They're there to separate the unobservant from the gold.
Still worries me.
Well, okay. I'm sure we'll find some use to put it to soon enough. The game does kind of expect you to keep a larger stable of, like, equipment than most, just because how class changing works.
I mean,
You
we've
can-
already seen the worst thing possible, making you have to change classes because you're small.
I mean, you don't have to. We kept a monk all the way through that.
Yeah, well, actually, I need to bite into the map bread here. Show me the world.
Yeah. What you got for us?
So there's a place to the east and a place
East
to the
is where we
north.
came from.
Okay.
We are on
But
this
there is that
inner
little thing to the
sea.
north.
There's a little straight up north with a place. And then we could go overland across the desert to reach the outer ring.
But the Northern Strait looks promising.
Oh, right, that was Dash getting off the boat with you. I was wondering what the heck was going on. Oh, it's adorable.
Fish.
This fish looks extremely mad that we're in his living room.
Really glad you picked up that 3-section staff.
Our monk, staying relevant.
In my DS run of this, the monk stayed relevant right to the end game.
Yes, that's fair.
It just kept scaling up.
Monks
What if the numbers were bigger?
There's one changeover, and it's from monk to master monk.
Yes, there's Monk
What?
Plus.
Yes.
Mystery
Yes.
Tower.
Monk to monk-er.
What if monk but more?
Oh, so this is our next choke point.
Yeah, you gotta get
You're
in
at the
here
Tower
with
of
the
Odin, where the frogs
wind
live.
cave. If you don't have the wind cape, then when you jump off the top of the tower, you're not gonna get across the strait.
Frog noises
Windbreaker.
live here.
Please do not remind me of the game I have to play in a few
lives
days.
here.
I'm sorry, Crum, what were you saying?
Nothing, I'm just crying on the inside.
Oh, Road to Rhone, huh?
Already did it.
Only the castle left.
Really enjoying these monsters, though. These guys are adorable.
Yeah, they're great.
Are they wearing suspenders?
Overalls? Yeah. It's either
Are they wearing
trousers or
denim?
sus-
Yes.
Yes. Look at these lumberjack ass fairies. Like, if they had tiny axes instead of tiny spears, I would believe that they were literal fairy lumberjacks.
Are these supposed to be the cute fairies that those people were talking about?
Obviously. I am not sure if I'm supposed to be here yet.
Dash has to say it. That's Viscount Pigman and his clone.
I'm going to assume that you're probably supposed to head to the southwest, but we'll see if there's something in here we can find.
Yeah, I think we resolved desert first before doing this tower.
From what I remember, that's correct, yes.
I
The
mean,
Tower of
if I-
Owen is the second to next stop.
As I lean back in the chair, let me fire up the old series of dungeons.
Oh no.
Only
Only
frog
a
could
Fjord
make-
could enter this dungeon when we don't know how to Fjord yet, so this is actually
No.
a barrier.
Yes.
What level spell is frog?
Good question.
I think probably the same level as many.
I think
just-
so, yeah.
Oh, it's white magic.
I think so. Wait, the pooties we encountered earlier were already mages.
No, that was just regular Puthi.
I see.
Not to
And
worry,
these-
the mages actually just punch you.
Yeah, so I noticed.
They are wizards. They are purple. I wonder if these are actually sorcerers and they have an instant death proc on their attacks.
Who could say?
You've played this game.
Yeah, but it was ages ago and I don't remember much beyond the very general details.
Also, you never know what exciting new horrible thing you might run into.
That's true. That's actually very true. This game is full of mysteries. For example, I'm pretty sure when I played this, I was not aware that either the burning or the freezing staff could be used as items. Because I was real stupid.
when would any of the 3 entries in this game series that exist here in the year 1990 have any sort of like remarkably powerful obscure enemy that just sort of appears from nowhere?
I see what you're doing there, and I don't like it.
All right. Well, unfortunately, popping open Record Keeper, my only outlet for information about this game, dungeon progression is Altar Cave, which would be Wind Crystal Cave.
Yeah, the Crystal Cave.
I mean,
Castle Susanoo.
That's Sassoon, yeah.
I still
Sealed
remember
Cave.
everything. I'm
Yep.
just waiting to be pinged for direct directions.
Yeah. Nepto Temple, and
Yep.
then Tower of Owen I actually have next. So
Oh.
that might have been that tower,
I
but
think
yeah,
we
you
are
have to...
crossing the we're crossing the desert
there's
first.
one thing
The
we
thing
need-
you
that's
probably have to
there
find
isn't
Frog.
a dungeon's worth of stuff.
Yeah.
We
need
must become as
information.
Frog.
become
You need
as
to become
Frog.
as Frog.
Hmm.
I'm sure this is
Hmm.
fine.
Touch it.
Hmm. Hmm.
You can.
Hmm.
Nothing happens.
Hmm.
It's floating.
Hmm. Yep.
If only we had an airship.
Here's Lynx.
Lynx!
Oh, I know
You
what that is.
On loan from Chrono Cross.
That's Bruce.
Like
That is
Campbell?
Bruce.
No, it's Bruce.
Ooh, these boys are durable.
Bruce from Cross.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Hey there, everyone.
Just remember, a robot cannot be named Bruce.
Really? We may have to test this tomorrow.
Interesting that it doesn't want to let me battle equip knife over
think
bow.
I think you may have to unequip your
Maybe.
Yeah.
arrows, yeah.
I'll
it
just
won't
switch
let you-
over between fights.
I think if you manage to get arrow and knife on the same equipment loadout, it will attempt to fire arrow from knife.
That's smart.
Good? I
I see
assume
no
dark
problem with
inventory shenanigans is required to do this.
I have not tried it. That just makes sense. That would be how it works.
Right. It's only logical.
Okay, but what if you equip knife and bow? Would it attempt to fire a knife from bow?
That's a great question.
These are
Hey,
the
man.
mysteries.
What if
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
is arrows? Arrows are a state
I mean-
of mind.
Yeah, if you put your mind to it, everything is arrows. Knife, dick, knife stick. I guess that's just a halberd, really.
Oh, I wonder what's here. Oh, maybe not.
Bird
Oh.
up.
It's a chocobo forest. Well, now you
Bird
got a
up.
chocobo.
Well,
Now you can ride around the world.
well.
I think there might even be a reward for it in this.
Ah,
game.
the ocean out there looks real weird.
Yeah,
What?
bizarre.
A lot of sheer cliffs into the ocean.
Yeah, you know. It's
Yeah,
like
the waveless,
Hyrule Plateau.
cloud-filled ocean.
It's just a reflection of the sky.
Love the 2-frame NES Chocobo
The
walk.
chocobo waddle.
Load
the
that rifle
head
for walking
bob.
up.
I'm pretty sure it's like that in 4?
I think you're right. Yes.
4 is pretty much just NES sprites on the SNES.
16-bit. Yeah.
A lot of early SNES stuff is NES sprites upscaled. They did not know what to do yet with so much power.
5
Okay.
is still more or less NES sprites. They're very tiny, low resolution. Not
Yeah, like
resolution.
Boko is very obviously an evolution of this sprite.
Yeah,
Bird up.
when
Okay.
chocobos were still white.
When
Village of
Chocobos
the
had
Ancients.
skin.
He's blue again.
Oh, why would you remind me of Skin Chocobo?
Skin bird.
Skin chocobo sounds like a euphemism. so I just want you to know that.
Look at the Amano art for Chocobos. They're bold.
Do I have to?
They're skin birds.
Great. I mean, like cassowaries?
Regret Googling that.
Okay, imagine a bird, but it's
With
a
skin.
furless cat instead.
Oh,
The Sphinx
so
bird.
like cassowaries. Yeah, okay.
I guess I don't know what the fuck a cassowary is.
And it's not all over, but like their heads are very much.
Yes, okay, but then imagine that, but all over.
A whole
So
bread.
dinosaurs. Thanks?
No, but dinosaurs had. You're.
That's true, yeah.
Dinosaurs didn't have skin.
Right, what was I thinking?
Just bones and feathers. That's it.
All meat, all the way through.
I believe for the first time ever, you're free of secrets.
What? When we walk out of this place, Dash will be green.
The secrets intensify.
Dash's color palette is the true secret.
It's true.
So, in the remakes, I know that some of your cast party members do things in combat.
Yes,
does he
they
do
all-
anything in combat in this one?
No.
Cast. Oh, in this one? No. I believe in the remake he casts lightning spells.
Flame armor, just for sale. Headband I'll take. Wizard robes.
Wizard!
Flame mail sounds like it's better than the Carapace vest.
Put on your robes. Let's
Can't
find
be
out.
that much better. 13 to
14.
Marginal.
probably
And
gives
probably
probably
an
gives a
elemental
resistance to something. Oh wow!
Tangible.
That's some defense.
Okay, the cursor decided to get excited.
Look, the cursor saw that defense increase and wanted part of it.
But my immediate thought after that is, well, I mean that's a big defense boost, and then it's the I wonder how long it's gonna be until your next defense boost because that one was so big.
That's a good question. God damn it, I need to stop saying that.
Right.
I only need one great bow.
You fool.
Long swords can leave. Leather hat can leave.
Nunchuck can leave?
Nunchuck can leave.
I can't believe you do this in that chuck.
Mithril vest. No, Mithril vest is obsolete. Mithril helm, likewise, yeah. That's a spare Mithril helm. Well, no, it was just obsoleted by Carapace. It would only have to sub back in if I wanted to bring Red Mage back. Mithril helm can
Yeah.
leave.
I doubt you're gonna be. Well, let me take that back. I don't know if you're actually gonna take Red Mage back or not.
That's the beauty of Final Fantasy III.
Sure. A lot
Lamp.
of light, huh?
The tale of Lamp when the Dark Warriors came and saved the world from Lamp.
Yeah.
Spell
okay.
of Sight. Spell of Exit. Wash.
Wash. Wash. We'll look that up real quick.
That sounds like a wonky name for a death spell or something.
I was
I
thinking
think that's
it might be
Asuna.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
either Asuna or Unpetrify.
Memento. Control F. Wash. That is Blindna.
What? Oh, it's
Oh,
an eye wash.
Restore
station.
Sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Restore Sight, yes. Level 3.
Level 3. Okay, sure.
Look, do you remember when Pure was level 4?
Yeah, I brought it up at the beginning of this session.
My point exactly. You shouldn't be surprised that Blind Knight is level 3.
And Soft was level 6.
I mean, unlike older games, eventually a level 3 will be pretty plentiful.
We get lots of spells eventually.
Old men.
Bad things happen when machines, apparently.
When you trust machines to control the lamp. Dash is red, but only indoors.
Dash's color palette.
Here we go.
Another mystery of the ancients.
This must be the best place ever.
Serpent Sword for sale, White Slayers for sale, Burning and Freezing, Killer Bow,
Killer
and
is
arrows
Wait,
are
nobody
here.
can
and
use the killer
elemental
bow.
arrows.
No one can use Killer Bow. Interesting.
A mystery.
Oh wait, I'm buying
another
individual
You're
Serpent
buying
Sword.
one arrow,
gold
yeah.
arrows. Hold on.
Do we get another Serpent Sword?
Yes.
Yes. The beauty. It's right here. And now we are broke.
Now we're rich in swords.
I guess that's fair. I can't really argue with that.
54 goes to what, like 60 something?
62.
Yep.
Oh,
And you know, if I just attain some yet further knowledge of archery later on. Some secret sleeping in a crystal somewhere. Of next
really
level marksmanship.
I'm really surprised the fighter can't use the killer bow.
I have to step out for other Final Fantasy things, but good luck.
Have a good one.
Your mithril swords?
Great Bow can now leave. Mithril Swords can now leave. Don't need
The
this many
rings.
mithril rings.
I like that you're keeping the White Slayer. Well, maybe we need to fight some undead.
We could hawk
Also-
Carapace armor.
Now that I'm thinking about... No, the Carapace armor might be for the...
Carapace armor is replaceable, though. It's also
Yes.
the thing, now that we have it in store.
Oh, it's mostly for Red Mage, if you have to switch to that.
Oh, is it?
Maybe? Too
Red
late,
Mage
who
couldn't
cares?
use it.
Oh, yeah.
Well then.
I'm guessing we're getting to the point where the Red Mage is very replaceable.
It's an early game class, yeah. So I think there's one thing in this town you haven't hit. If I'm not very much mistaken.
Went to miscellaneous, went to Wizard
Oh,
Shop,
maybe I'm wrong.
Talk
And
to
Dash
lots of
doesn't
old
have anything
men.
to say.
can't fall down the
yeah.
well.
Where's Frog?
Does he have anything to say on the world map?
Yes, Frog.
You cannot consult your allies on world map.
Maybe there's other places in the world we haven't reached yet.
Bird up.
Like maybe this flying thing, you know, in the desert.
I need some way to access this thing.
That flying thing in the desert is way down the line. I will
Yes,
just
you
let
need
you
an
know.
airship.
Oh,
Bird?
maybe you can...
Bird is
Bird is
confused
gonna-
by something in these woods.
Can you go up to the waterfall as Bird?
No.
That was worth a shot.
Can you
Something
get off
about
the
these
bird
woods
and explore
confuses
this?
Bird, though. Let me walk in here. Welcome to the living
Oh.
forest. Welcome to the fairies right here.
Don't like this.
Wizard of Argus
Wizard of
Castle.
Argus Castle.
Cursed
no,
the Elder
not that
Tree.
name. Not that name.
Fine. He wants to fire the large cannon
Shut
because
your
his
cake
wife.
hole.
Nine can control his weak point.
No shit.
Did someone say stuff about blotching things up?
Barriers?
This isn't the Eye of Argon.
The eldest tree.
The
Yeah, the
oldest
oldest tree.
tree.
The heart of the forest.
It's been stolen by brigands. magicians.
Evil wizards have abducted.
I
Oh, yeah,
cannot
I saw one
canoe
of
up that, but I can just go over here.
By the way,
Yep.
yes, I'll release this cursed knowledge into everyone's brain. Haha, hello.
It's
Uh,
good.
Fine.
It's fine.
I'll release this cursed knowledge into everyone's brainscape who is currently watching on the stream. Hey, one of the few references to actually old Final Fantasy games that they put in the Spirits Within is that the main villain is named Hein.
You know, Hein and his distinctive character trait of firing beams.
The distinctive
fairness.
character trait of having a wife and wanting to fire a cannon.
If I had a giant cannon, I'd want to fire it too.
Then he fires the cannon and everybody goes, "Sir, we can't fire the cannon again. It'll explode." And he goes, "Fire the cannon."
Just watch
And then
me.
they fire the cannon and then it explodes. And
The
that's
cannon
how he
is
died.
overheating. We should wait for it to cool down. No. You're trying to fire the thing too fast. Give it a minute.
I really need to watch The Spirits Within again.
No, you
Really
don't.
don't. But also you do. It has
See,
aged
that's
like
the
nothing.
exact thing. It's one of those. I haven't
Don't
seen
go
it
alone
forever.
into Spirits Within.
Yeah, don't go alone. That's the big thing.
Can we set up a drinking game?
God.
The biggest thing that's amazing about the Spirits Within is the one thing that actually holds up really well is the old man's hands look really good.
So that's the
Weird.
eldest tree right there in the middle of the
Yes.
desert.
Yes, that is the arch tree being flown around the desert,
By wizards.
used as a castle.
But we don't know how to get in.
Don't know how
No,
to approach
It
it.
flies.
You need
Can
an
we
airship.
fly? I didn't think so.
Were there other places we can reach via bird?
Well, time to
How-
snap into a Slim Jim.
What? Are all these houses in disrepair?
This
Because
town
this
was
house has
raided.
been repeatedly raided.
Oh, okay. Ouch.
Ouch!
I think I need knowledge of frog. No.
I think I
Knowledge of
know.
frog.
I think I know where you need to
Yes.
go.
I also
No.
think I know where you need to go. I just can't remember how to get there.
Yeah. Do you want me to let you know where you need to go?
Let me take a look at the map.
We do have more gnomish bread.
Well, we have the
That's-
spell of
that's-
sight now. I can just
We
spend
also
one
have the
charge.
spell of
I can
sight.
also dispose of the gnomish bread,
You
Yes.
can eat the bread and before you have to use sight.
the map bread. So there are some caves east. Well, no, because that's where I went after falling off Bahamut's mountain. The section to the right there. Yeah, that's...
There's that
Small
little
village
bit
was
to
there,
the
and then there's a
east
couple of caves.
uh,
Okay, yeah, there's a point of interest that's in the outer sea. It's blocked off by hills, though.
Hmm.
Can't sail to that or bird to that.
The other thing I'm thinking of is that you may have to talk to
Wait,
Dex.
wait.
Up
I see
top,
it.
past
Yeah.
past Argus Overland.
Yep.
Yes.
Correct, I believe. If we are looking at the same thing.
That's hey more just
Griffins
griffins.
just
Just
live out
three
here.
of them.
Yeah, I was going to suggest if we couldn't find it, just go over to the castle and start looking around there because there's probably something around it.
Argus.
Fun fact: Argus is one of the names you can name the fighter randomly in Dawn of Souls.
Yeah, all the
that right?
default names in Dawn of Souls are callbacks.
Or 4 words, since Dawn of Souls.
Usually, it's the name of a town or a person.
Hmm.
I forget which class gets Sid.
Thief?
Well, Thief gets both male and female names,
Hmm.
These
That's just the-
Griffons.
as does most of the other classes.
Making no assumptions about...
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, that's fair. What are you giggling about, newbie? It will remain a mystery.
It's a mystery. Don't worry about it.
Alright, alright.
Secret to everyone.
Tents have been absent from this so far. Also, wait, hold on. After saving, come back
Play
to
again
them.
soon!
Later.
Did you not notice that? Oh. Lizard Man!
Lizard Man and Lizard Man.
Sahagwins, lizardmen, werewolves. It's all there.
Man, Lizard
I
Man, and
wonder
Lizard
if they
Man.
take double
approach.
damage from the serpent sword.
Command?
Ooh. You boys hit reasonably hard.
Still just poaching straight from D&D.
Yep. Although, again, I'll note just how enthused these lizard men look to be here.
I really like that your entire team is dual wielding.
What's a shield?
Previous game, shields or you're dead. This game, what's a shield?
No, in the previous game you dual wielded shield.
Welcome to the new meta. N section staff.
Pretty sure one of the characters in... Oh man, what's that called? Ronin Warriors had a 10-section staff.
What?
I think one of the idiots that was in that had a 10-section staff, or something close to it.
I don't know.
Behold my 200 section staff. That's a chain.
Yeah, you know.
It's the same thing, really. Can you make
If you
that chain
think
into a
about it.
staff? No.
Yeah, alright, there's a cave here.
I mean, like,
I
if you think
really don't like what this cave is implying.
about it, Mistral's spear is really just a 200 section staff.
This
It's
is the
Gurgan
Gurgan Valley.
What do you gotta say about it, Dash? You don't say.
The Gurgans
Well-
and they orbs.
Noted. Speaking of which, this is the Gurgan that quietly spoke in the intro. It's that one.
Yeah, we already went there.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, the dwarves!
Oh, it's
Interesting.
downstairs.
More Gurgan.
Hmm.
Frog
Now
is
you
here.
can tower.
But what if there's a hidden passageway down here?
That's right.
Now you're thinking with secrets.
Oh,
Hmm. Hmm.
I was mostly kidding. I'm just glad
No,
they did it.
you weren't.
Treasures
you just
of the
didn't know it
Gurgans.
yet.
Ice Rod,
Ooh,
Wizard Robe,
Wizard clothes.
Flame Rod.
Yeah.
Flame rod.
Okay.
Time
Well-
to dual wield rods.
Yes.
I wonder if these are going to do the level 2 effect.
It could be. Flame power up.
They boost elements.
Yes.
This might be a subtle warning of, you might want to have more than one black mage right now.
No.
Get ready. No. Correct.
I agree. I'm just saying, that's probably what the game is implying.
I have conquered
Well,
the big rat. Nothing can stop me.
Once again, I had just managed to forget about it in time to be blindsided.
That? Don't worry about it.
I'm sure it's fine.
I'm like 99.5%. Oh, good.
Assault. Check out Gorgon over
Yeah, I
here.
know. No, it's Gurgan. Come on.
Boosting the power of fire, you say?
Also, these things are horrifying. I just figured I should mention that.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Boosted, you
Oh.
say?
Conspicuous safe state.
I mean, we can just go back to Castle Argus and use one of the many healing pots there.
Yeah. Ah, I see
The
power
animation on
Yeah.
these heads.
poses. Yes! Yes! Yeah, this is a lamprey with arms and wings, is what this is.
It's
Teeth.
horrifying. Oh, right. Onion gained a couple levels as a red mage. I was wondering why they were so far behind the other person.
So monks are quite chuffy.
True.
We're going in. For what it's worth, you don't have to spend too long as a frog, so don't worry about it too much.
Oh, right. Back row.
road.
Oh!
Mages, you say?
Yeah. I think the row command should be available. I'm not sure though.
It is not.
Dang.
It has not yet been
Well.
invented.
Damn. Alright, you can multi-target sleep if you want to try that. Rip.
We are leaving.
We're leaving.
Hell of an animation on mute.
Yep, just a paper talisman. Goodbye. Castle Argus. Oh, good.
We've invented the back attack.
God, it looks so wrong now that they're being mirrored. Fortunately, Serpent Swords still cut these guys. to
Drive
tiny
the
little
boat
ribbons.
away from the fish.
Yep. Sleep! Ow. Rip.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
The greatest punchline I've ever seen. Gurgan.
Is exit usable in battle?
Let's find out.
Yeah, that's a good question. Science.
It defaulted to pointing at the enemy, so I think it
Let's
still
see
works as a
what
kill
happens.
spell.
But we could
Let's-
we would have our experience levels be uneven. Oh no.
Ineffective.
Fish are a problem. Horse
This
is a problem.
beautiful. This is beautiful.
Okay, two people who can run. Let's do this.
This is the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
Horse is inescapable.
They very well might be.
No, that's
okay,
fine.
thank goodness.
And there are no encounters in here.
That's
Nope,
correct.
castle's just empty.
Just need to remember the path that actually leads to the springs.
I think it's out the door at the bottom here, and that'll get you to the springs.
Yes.
Well, that was brutal, but we're fine now. Gotta be sure.
Yeah, that just hinged on the fact that I took these two out of the front row.
Yeah. There's really no
soon.
reason to. Yeah. Oh man, it was so much less eventful this time. Oh, it's
Astounding.
still mute.
Yep,
That's great.
my spells.
Onion is just communicating via vigorous mime.
Next time, Owen.
Next time. Next time.
Yeah.
It has
Next time.
begun.
Just
Yeah.
as I finished work. Dang it.
Proceed directly to frogs.
Yes.
So
Frog.